and gentlemen, and I use that term loosely, we are now live. Good Tuesday morning.
Buenos dias.
And I am going to be working on a sketch for a Wolverine sketch cover. My rough before I put it on the actual cover, because sometimes the surface of those is very delicate, and if you erase on them a lot, it's not good when you go to ink it. Jarrod, what do you? Let me see. I'm gonna do a little.
Oh, welcome to my table.
Yes, a little over to your table so you can tell us what you're working on.
I've got 2 book page sketches I'm working on today. I'm doing a Ginny Weasley from Harry Potter. These go by pretty quick, so I have another one I'm working on. I've got the basic layouts for. Someone asked for a zombie stormtrooper, so I'm doing a stormtrooper zombie on a page from Star Wars Dark Apprentice.
Okay, and good morning, Kevin, and good morning, Mastodon. How are you all doing? And let's good morning. Let's see what Drew is. I got to add Drew to the stream. Drew.
There he is.
I keep doing the dropping from the stream. All right, looks like Drew is working on a panel from his book.
Yeah, page 7. And after this, I'll probably pencil a Black Knight hedgehog.
Yeah, hey, Black Knight. I've been signing a cover that I inked a Red Hannigan from probably in the mid 80s or late 80s. And he's going to be, isn't he coming up in one of the Marvel movies? Is that why I'm seeing
that? He's going to be in Eternals. And if they follow like kind of the comics, he'll end up in the Avengers.
Right. That's okay. That's what I thought I heard is he's going to be eventually in the Avengers or something.
I wouldn't be surprised if he leads them like he did in the comics. He's Captain America with a sword, so
right.
It would be a plus that guy is Kit Harington is kind of big time after Game of Thrones. So I doubt he would take a role that would be like just a bit part. Considering he has nothing else going on, I don't think.
Oh, okay. So the Mastodon is Don. Hey, Don. Or Master Don. I thought there was a...
Oh, Mastodon. Donald.
Yeah, Don.
That's pretty clever.
I see Kevin saying, hey, Don. So, got it. You know, what I find, it's pretty amazing. Like, after you've done so many streams, even if people use like a nickname or something, you begin to just know their like actual name. It becomes second nature. Even some people from when I first started doing this, maybe close to 2 years ago, I still remember. I still recall that. So I guess my memory isn't as bad as I thought it was. Well, that's to
flashes and glimpses of brilliance. Is that what you're saying?
No, I did not say that. I guess I implied it though, maybe.
I gotta change the tip on my pen.
Do you use the their stylus? Does that come with a stylus?
Yeah. This one is longer.
Do they have like the felt tip one that like Cintiq has or a Wacom?
No, but apparently they have. I just got these new tips. And they are considerably longer and pointy. The other ones are kind of rounded.
Right.
Like this thing is super long and pointy. I just threw away the other one. I have more of the old ones, but I have to find them. But it's weird. This has now become a different pen altogether. I don't know if I like that. I may have to clip it down. But no, they don't have felt tips. They do. Uh, I don't know. They're very smooth,
Right.
which is what I like. But a lot of people don't, apparently. Because every time I tell people that it's smooth, they're like, "Oh, that sucks." But to me, like when I ink, I want it smooth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a bunch of resistance. Um, just so I can get a nice fluid line. But I don't know.
Well,
Every time I tell people that, they go, "Oh, that sucks."
the felt tip one just has just a tiny little drag on it. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, I like a little bit, but man, um, I don't know. I like it. Of course, I also like smooth paper,
Right.
and a lot of people don't like that either.
Which is funny because you use the Canson paper on the textured side, which is a little more coarse.
Which is the roughest paper I've ever used.
Yeah, there you go.
It is like sandpaper. It is, and it takes ink so well. It just because that tooth just holds everything.
Yeah, it's good.
But yeah, it's strange. I like smooth, and I still use the roughest paper in existence.
Well, whatever gets the job done.
Yes, sir. It's weird. It's like you do all these pieces on that paper,
Mm-hmm.
and no one wants to know like how you did it. They just want to know what kind of paper you use. like because it tells me like magically you think like, well, if I use that paper, my stuff's gonna look just like yours.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's that's with everything. What pen do you use? It's like they think it's, and I'm guilty of it too. When I was coming up, but I think we all still are process junkies. We still want to know how they get the effects they do, how they work, how they use a particular tool that we may be using the same tool, but not getting a result that we see someone else and it's like, how does he do that with that? And I think we all find it interesting how other people work yeah.
What I've learned is like before I used to think like that, hey, if I get this tool, I'll do the same thing. Now it's more like I see someone or some lines and see what somebody's doing, and I see something in it that I like, and I go, let me use this. And sometimes I hate it, and sometimes I love it, but usually I kind of just try it out and go, well, I don't do what he does, but I like this line I'm getting from it, that I can't get from something else. If I can get the exact line from something that I already use, I'd rather just do that.
Yeah, because you're comfortable with it.
Yes, and I don't have to go through that whole like I'm learning the nuances of this new tool. God, what this thing is crazy. I have to recalibrate because the tip's so much longer.
Good morning, Tank. I want to say hello to you.
Where is that work area?
I think we're just getting organized.
Where is it?
It's here. Because I've been up since 4 a.m. anyway, but I didn't get down to my office here to maybe 8. And then I had some stuff to do and prep time, getting computers out and stuff hooked up. And
I just gave some blood work, so if I pass out on the stream, just let me lay there.
You can have a snack now.
And I did. I had a keto bar before we went live.
Now, what kind of keto bar are you having?
I don't know. It was red box marked keto, and it was.
Yeah, it's a Slim Fast, isn't it?
No, it's from.
Yeah, Slim Fast started with a keto line because they started losing market share to. You got to watch those bars.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, you should.
John, I've been diabetic for years. You always act like I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to this.
Well, I think I can help you.
Dr. Beatty's in the house.
I am.
Every stream he's giving me doctor advice. Where's Dr. Kaz?
Dr. Kaz would tell you the same thing.
Mm-hmm. No, I like them though because you're right. They're like the old Slim Fast bars, but they've got the carb counts lower, and that's
but they're still relatively high for what they are. They put. I'm serious. You eat what you want, but I'm saying they put keto on it because keto's that it's been now for a couple years or last year, and it's just one of those things that.
I know. I check the carb counts. That's what I got to watch out for.
And the sugars.
Well, carbs are sugars are part of the carb count.
Well, yes and no. I like that Quest bar I have where it does the carb and then the sugar separate.
Yeah, but it's still the sugar is still a subset of the carb. So if it has like 42 carbs and then underneath, let's say 22 of them are sugars, it's part of the 42.
I think added sugar is different.
No, not on nutritional packaging.
Okay, you're a diabetic. I'm not.
Trust me. What you want to look for too is your fibers, because then you can subtract those from the carb count.
I know that. And
then you have your net carbs. But one of the biggest things out there, since we're giving people dietary advice like we do, is you got to watch out for the ones. The one big thing to watch out for, John, is the ones that say sugar-free cookies, and sugar-free candy. The carb count is still almost the same in a lot of the cases. So you're not saving yourself a dang thing by eating the sugar-frees, which makes me sad sometimes because they make like the sugar-free apple pie at Walmart, and I'm like, yay! And then I look at it, and it's still, 20-something carbs per slice, and you're like, I can't eat all that.
Well, you have a limited amount of carbs. You just have to count that towards your carbs for the day.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I could eat it, but if I want to eat other things,
right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like if you want that, depends on if you have that savory tooth or that sweet tooth.
Mm-hmm. I have both of those teeth.
I do. I have more of the savory, to tell the truth. I'd rather have, me. I'd rather have a big bowl of nachos and salsa and queso.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we went out as a family for Valentine's Day. We usually go to one of our local Mexican joints that we like, and I had the half order of beef and bean nachos for dinner. It was pretty good. Did your family do anything for Valentine's Day, John? Or Drew? I'll toss it to the whole group.
We went out for Demoshi. It's like a sushi, not really sushi. It's like a ramen and poke bowl place.
Oh, okay.
It's just raw fish and rice, some seaweed salad, and
that's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it's great. I've grown up on being Korean, just Asian food, and I didn't have Chinese food until I was 18. It just wasn't something we ate in our house. We're Korean, so
right.
We just eat Korean food. Sushi too. I didn't have sushi until I was, in college. Just because, like, why eat that if you can eat Korean food? And I'm sure Japanese people and Chinese people feel the same way. They're just like, why eat your food when I like mine? My mom doesn't eat like American food generally, only on occasion. But when I was growing up, she's like a single mom, like, it's just whatever we ate. But yeah, Asian food has always been like my go-to. It's like my comfort food. Like some people eat mac and cheese and shepherd's pie. I eat bulgogi and kimchi. So
kimchi is not a comfort food.
It's a probiotic, man. It's good for your digestion. It's wonderful.
I know that, but
but it makes it
a comfort food.
So does octopus. I really love squid and octopus.
Now, I don't know if I told you this story before or not, but I'm gonna tell it now since you brought up like having sushi and stuff.
Yeah.
First time I had sushi, I was 19, and it was my first trip up to New York, and I was with Zach, of course. I was in Marvel Comics, and it was around lunchtime, and a bunch of the editors and other freelancers hanging around. I don't know. I don't think Shooter was taking everyone to eat, but I think one of the editors was getting a group of people to take out to eat. And they were deciding on a place to go. And around that time, sushi was really like, and, here I am from Florida. I know nothing about this stuff. But anyway, they decide on some sushi place that, they want to go to. And I'm going because, hey, I'm the new guy. Don't know where I'm going in the city. So I couldn't remember the name of the place. I get in there and I'm like whispering to Zach, I have no idea what this is. And Mike's like, well, it's raw fish on rice and seaweed and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what to order. He goes, oh, get like a California roll.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you don't know, just get a California.
Yeah, and other people got like other stuff, so we were kind of trying. And I know what salmon is, so I would try that. But again, it's raw fish, and it's my first experience. And they're telling me, oh, you got to have the wasabi and the soy and mix it together. And so I'm doing all this, and then of course, like to drink, it's the traditional Japanese. No, well, they had that, but
green tea,
rice wine did not sound good to me at the time. I'm trying to digest like raw fish and just I'm used to like going to McDonald's, right?
Oh, Jesus.
That sounds delicious.
So this is like way off the scale of my palate.
Super exotic, right?
Oh yeah, I mean beyond belief. And then so the tea comes out, and it's traditional Japanese green tea, which is very, very bitter, but it's also subtle in a way. There's a little bitter flavor, but there's not much flavor. But what is there is, like you say, it's just kind of, it's like, where's the sugar? I'm used to Southern sweet tea, and so we get done with that, and I think I had to have. I asked Mike. I said, "Look, I got to stop and get something to eat." I'm like, my first dinner or my first lunch with people from Marvel, and they feed me raw fish and hot water. I didn't know what to think. I was like, gee, you know what? Now I love it,
See, Koreans have a thing called gimbap, which is like sushi, but not like as in it's rice wrapped in seaweed, but it has like bulgogi meat in it, and like Korean radish and spinach and carrots and stuff. But yeah, it's cooked. The beef is so But it's like something. I mean, it could even have a lot of other things. It's just whatever. It's kind of like the Korean sandwich. Like you could have it for lunch, for dinner. People put it in like kind of like Americans put like ham sandwiches in. They'll have like some gimbap. Gim is Korean for the seaweed, and then
Right.
bob is the Korean for rice. So other than that, it's like you can put whatever you want in it. Sometimes you put kimchi in there. But so when I had sushi for the first time, it wasn't that foreign because I ate seaweed wrapped rice a lot anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they said it was raw fish, it wasn't. I don't know. Like I said, but then I don't know. I never get weirded out by food because I guess my level of weird on food is pretty weird as it is. I used to eat squid jerky and fish jerky as a kid, and other people's parents wouldn't let me in their house because it stunk so bad. They make me eat it on the porch and wouldn't let me in the house.
I had a Korean girlfriend.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would have to tell her, kimchi. I smell kimchi.
Yeah, it's a strong smell, man. And not always a great smell. I mean, I'm saying like sometimes it's rank. I mean, like bad. Oh, it's so good though. It's so delicious.
Oh yeah, no, their family traditional Korean. They had it 3 times a day with every meal. Now, I'll put your wife's Filipino. You know about balut?
Yeah, I don't eat that stuff. That's ridiculous.
Well, you were talking about,
Yeah, no, that's just gross, John.
You draw the line there, right?
Yeah, like not just that. Like I know I've been a part of a Filipino family, her family for 20-some years. They won't eat it either. They're like, no, gross. So yeah, I think it's gross, but so do they.
Have they been away from it for a while?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's probably why.
I just can't imagine. Like, how do you get past the feathers?
I don't know. I never. My fiance at the time, my wife now, Bella, she ate one. She bought like a couple and to show me, because I was like, I'm not gonna do it. And,
no, neither am
I. She put the vinegar. You put the vinegar in there, and you kind of sip the juice out, and
yeah,
it's.
I just can't get it. I mean, I've eaten blood pudding.
Oh yeah, I didn't know what that was until after I ate it, and then I was like, wait a minute, this is kind of pasty and
like irony.
Yeah, I'm like, because it does kind of look like a chocolate pudding,
It does. It looks a lot like a chocolate pudding. It is so deceiving.
Maybe, Jarrod, and maybe for the people listening, you know what blood pudding is?
I do, but
Okay.
Tell the people who are listening.
It's
almost self-explanatory.
Well, blood gives its intestines.
All big, like all pureed up into.
They do not let a part of a pig when they kill it go to waste.
It is disgusting. Unless you're used to it, I guess. I am not. I mean, we all eat weird stuff. Don't get me wrong. We all have a little bit of weird in us.
I'm trying to think if I eat anything weird.
I eat tons of weird stuff, and I don't know it's weird till I eat it, and people go, "What are you eating?" And I go, "Oh, I'm eating this," and they go, "That's weird."
I think that one of the funniest things is at conventions, when we're out to, even in the hotel restaurant.
Yeah.
And they like have this menu that I'm like looking at it. Now this was before I started doing more of a less carb and knocking sugar out and stuff diet. But, I would just, if I could see a club sandwich and fries, I was like, oh, thank God, there, I can eat that, because some of the stuff in restaurants, they name it and then they put other stuff with it. And I'm like, you had me until you added these 3 ingredients, and I don't want that now.
Yeah, thanks for the sprouts.
I don't mind sprouts.
I had a General Tso's cauliflower at this brewery in Charlottesville.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I was a skeptical, because I was like, General Tso's cauliflower, like, how does that work? And how it works is that it's amazing. It was delicious. But yeah, sometimes, you get that, you kind of like have to take yourself back a little. And then that I usually ask the server or something. I was like, what would you get? Like, what's your favorite thing?
Mm-hmm.
And they tell me, and I go, that's disgusting. Not joking. I usually try that out if I'm totally lost.
And they're telling you what the chef says. Look, we have to get rid of this today.
Today's the day.
Well, no,
Get it out the door.
Someone asked, "This is your favorite." Wouldn't that be funny?
Oh no, what's going on?
I'll tell you what's funny is, Renee, right, Drew?
Renee
Witterstatter.
No, I don't think so.
She books Michael Golden. She sometimes books me. She sometimes books Mike Zeck into conventions.
Yeah.
So you've seen her, I'm sure.
I probably have.
Okay, so we'll be out to eat, and it'll be like the group of us, and she always wants to change something. Like, I want this, but can you leave this off? And see, I don't do that. I either order it. The only thing I might do is, like, if I get a salad, I might tell them, if I'm really watching the carbs, leave the croutons off, and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But she'll be like ordering some dish, and she'll say, like, can you leave this off and add this and give me a side of, she always wants a side of salsa, which I guess she expects every restaurant to have, being from Texarkana, I guess. I don't know.
You're surprised.
Well, I know. And I am surprised how many of them actually do have, like, salsa. Or I guess they can make it real quick. Just chop up a tomato and add something to it. But
I worked in a restaurant that only served dinner.
Yeah.
And a guy came in and he says, you know what? Can I get pancakes, eggs, bacon, and something else, an omelet?
A
and you know what? We made it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And like we had the ingredients, of course, to make all that stuff. It's not on the menu, but that's just what the guy felt like eating.
Right.
And even the proprietor was just like, I don't even know what to charge this guy. Like, so he just let him have it. He just
that's funny.
Because he's like, I don't know what to charge him, which is like this is so far off menu that I have no idea. And just for the fun of it, he just let him have it.
Sir, you ordered this was our giveaway meal because no one's ever ordered it. So
yeah, that's kind of what happened. Well,
congratulations, sir! You cracked the code.
That's it. Yeah, this has been in the vault. This is one of our secret meals.
Yeah, you just did it, man. And everybody who was cooking at the time was like, "What the? Like, are you kidding me?" And of course, like some of the guys are like trained chefs, so they're just like, "Well, all right. Like, give me 10 minutes."
That's
buttermilk.
Yeah.
Like it's
Somebody heat the milk till it starts to curdle.
yeah. Well, we had buttermilk for sure. It was fully stocked restaurant, so we had everything. I definitely I learned all my time management skills from working in a restaurant because everything's got to be like certain times and the temperatures, and you got to follow all these food regulations. That was 17 years ago. Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, I think about 17 years ago.
That time flies.
Yeah, I know. I talked to my friend who also worked with me,
Uh-huh.
and he goes, "We'll tell stories of then." And then we're like, "Do you realize that's almost 20 years ago?" It felt like yesterday. But yeah, much respect to people who work in restaurants. It's a hard job, man. I think it's one of the hardest jobs out there. It is.
My wife's a waitress at a little diner over on the beach side, and it's surprising sometimes the stories she'll tell me, like who gives her a good tip versus like who doesn't, and the kids on spring break, they barely have enough money for the food, so it's like
no one appreciates anybody in the restaurant. They're just like, give me my stuff now.
Yeah.
And like you don't understand what's going on. Especially like there's times when the kitchen, like let's say the air conditioners or the air conditioner's not working or something, and they're dying back there, like with the heat from the grills and flat tops and all that, the salamanders and all that stuff's going. And they got buckets of ice water with rags in it that they're just putting on their heads. And you're out front in the air conditioner. You get your steak or your fish, and you're like, "Oh, this is more. This is not pink enough." And you send it back disgusted as it goes back, and these guys are like dying, and then they have to recook your steak because it's like half a degree off in temperature. But they get no appreciation for that because no one knows it's happening.
After seeing what was it that was it the movie, not Road Trip?
Waiting?
Huh?
Is it that movie Waiting?
No, it's the movie that had the real skinny dorky kid and he sent his French toast back.
Oh, I think that was Road Trip.
Was it called Road Trip, Drew?
I think so. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Probably. I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
And they stop for breakfast. Well, the dorky kid has the car. He's paying for everything, and
yeah, I think that is Road Trip.
And don't they kind of egg him on into sending the French toast back, Jarrod?
Yes, and it's not a wise decision.
No, and I think they realize, and they're like, "Hey, you that's not what you ordered. You need to send that back." That scene kept me from, I'm very patient with, if I get a steak and I want it like medium and it comes out a little too well cooked, I don't really complain.
I always have, like, if it comes out shoe leather, I'll just tell them to take it back and just take it off my bill. Don't even cook another one, because by the time you're done, everybody else is done eating.
That's true.
But just take it off my bill. Just like, and we're good after that, But I will say where I worked there 7 years. No one ever pulled any. One person tried, because this group of people came in. We're about to close at like 11 or 12. And they showed up like a minute before close, and everybody else was broken down.
Yeah.
And they came in like, a minute, and they're never going to turn anybody away. So this guy took a piece of raw chicken, and I don't know if you've ever seen a kitchen at the end of the night, the floor is like an inch of sludge.
Yep.
And he just drops the chicken on the ground and then puts it on the grill, and somebody caught him.
Gross.
And he was fired immediately. they were just like, you can't, like, you could kill somebody like that. Like, you could, like, it's all funny games and movies and whatever, but you mess with people's food, you can kill somebody.
Oh yeah.
And like, it's no joke. Like seafood allergies and all that stuff. Like, we're like made we were just made aware of the seriousness of people ingesting stuff, and it's our responsibility to make sure they get the highest quality, the highest quality food, and everything's at the proper temperatures. And if the person wants it at not a proper temperature, we have to explain to them that they are taking the risk. That it has to be at this temperature, and if you want it at that, we'll do it. But like, you're taking the risk of getting sick.
Right.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Well, it's not hilarious, but it is. I always tell people, like, if you go to a really nice place, like, they don't have time to mess with your food.
That's true.
They got to cook all, like, it's like robots. They'll just go, oh, he wants to recook, boom, and they'll just throw it down. And like, to them, it's nothing. They just got to move on. But I'm not saying like Taco Bell and McDonald's. I mean, who knows what's happening? They may drop a loogie into your Big Mac. I don't know. But where I work, hell no. You do that, and you'll get fired quick. It kind of made me feel good about where I worked, you know?
Oh, yeah.
That we had some integrity.
Some.
Trust me, all the drugs and stuff that were going through that place, you wouldn't think there was any integrity at all. Can't wait to draw that Black Knight.
I draw it.
I got this. Once I finish this panel, this page is done.
That's the reward, right?
Yeah, that is my reward, and I can submit it. So that means I submit 2 pages in like 9 hours. The editor should be happy, and they're even getting the next script to me early.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I love you guys. I'll take back everything I ever said about you.
You mean all that good stuff?
Yeah, I say a lot of good things.
You do. And that's, you know what? If it's the truth, there's nothing wrong with it, you know?
Yeah, that's what I say. Like,
because it works both ways, you know? It's
I hope they say good things.
Well, I mean, it works both ways. That you can say, you know, it's like, I got no problem, you know, with anyone saying something negative about a company that treats them bad or an editor that treats someone bad. You know, it shouldn't be. It's not necessary.
Yeah. Well,
it's like hopefully we're all adults, and you know, you should behave that way. But
is it 1975? Whose phone is that?
That's my wife. You all discuss.
Is that a rotary phone?
I know, right?
Grandma?
It's the milkman calling to get his money.
Jeez.
From 1954.
I'm here to get your deposits. Wow. You know, in Vermont, they require, you know, the deposits for your sodas and such. That they charge you, you know, the fee, and then when you bring it back, you get, you know, your money back. And in Virginia, they don't do that.
Yeah.
You just recycle. Like we have, you know, they pick up recycling everywhere, and you know, you have your own recycling bin, and they just do that. So we don't have to do that. So whenever I go to Vermont and you know, we're buying anything that requires a deposit, I'm just like, they take. I was like, wait a second, this thing's supposed to be $3. All of a sudden, it's like $4.50 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then they tell me to deposit it. I was like, I don't live here. I'm never gonna come back here to return whatever it is, bottles or cans. So I was like, don't I get like exempt from that? They're like, I don't know. You're now you have to pay it, like, because you're not gonna come back.
Okay, movie got called off.
Uh-oh.
Not from the theater, but one girl couldn't make it, so she was the one that was going to drive. She got called into work.
They lost their ride.
Yeah.
I remember I used to do like I worked in the mornings, and when I worked in a restaurant, and I would often like take calls from the upper management. And this one girl, she called and she goes, "Hey, it's Sharky." That was his name, his nickname, Sharky. I wouldn't give his real name out. And he was a Sharky there. And
Was his last name Machine?
Huh?
Was his last name Machine?
Oh my God! He was a predator, of young ladies. So everybody called him Sharky. And he was a general manager, so they're like, Sharky there, and I'm like, no, he won't be until noon. And he's like, well, can you do me a favor? Tell him I'm not going to be in today. I just can't do today. I can't. I'm not up to it. And I was like, wait a second, are you calling in sad? And she goes, yeah, tell him that. I was like, my pleasure. I will totally tell him that you're calling in sad. This is amazing.
It's not
and sure enough, when he came in, he was like, what'd she say? I was like, she's sad, so she's not coming in today.
I bet that's funny. Yeah, that is. You know what? The little diner that Bella works at, it's like some of the stories when she has to fill in for people, I'm like, you're getting called in. Why? Oh, because so-and-so this. And I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm like, and they're buying that. And they're like, well, and my wife is she's like, well, I believe her. And I'm like, Bella, come on,
Is Florida, like, because Virginia, you can fire somebody with no reason.
Oh, yeah, it's a right to work state. I mean, yeah. They can fire you and they don't have to tell you why.
Yeah, that's the way Virginia is.
But vice versa, if you want to quit, you don't have to give a notice or anything like that either. You can walk out, and so it works both ways.
Yeah, you get freedoms and you get them on both sides.
Right.
People. Okay,
I mean, I
was wondering because you don't have to believe it. At one point, you could just be like, all right.
Right, but I don't know what the benefit of. I mean, I guess giving someone 2 weeks, it's a nice thing to do. But if you're in a frictional, workplace, it's like usually I've heard a lot of people, they give their 2 weeks notice. And then if it's a bad relationship, it's just like, no, you don't need to give 2 weeks. You can just, you don't need to show up.
2 weeks. Generally people don't give you bad recommendations, like when you try and get a job.
Yeah, and that's usually that's usually something when it's a mutual split. You're going on good terms. You're moving up to a better job or something like that, and then you want to give that 2 weeks notice so they have time to replace you. And
yeah, you can also account for that time if you get a new job. They're like, what'd you do from 2006 to 2012? What were you doing that it's not on here? You're like,
I did a lot of thinking.
A little bit of none of your business.
I was reflecting, sir. I traveled the world from.
Come around back and I'll show you what I was doing.
I'm a man of mystery, sir.
Oh, behave. Okay, let me check the chat here real quick. Hello, Tats. Missed you on the when you came in. Ron's in. How you doing, Ron? Let's see. Said hello to Tank. Noah came in. Hey, Noah. AG, good morning. And Lloyd, Jarrod's favorite person.
I love Lloyd. He doesn't love me, but I love Lloyd. It's all right.
Lloyd, this Wolverine is going on a sketch cover. However, I will have the underdrawing. I can do another one just like it.
That's right. Once the roughs are there, he's good for life.
I have so many digital sketches. I was thinking about just doing a sketchbook of digital sketches. I probably have like 1,000 of them.
You could do that.
Like just because then it'd be like no work really, other than putting it together. I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. I must have thousands of just digital headshots and roughs and even like thumbnails and full 11x17 commissions and covers. It's all digital before I put it on paper, and then it's like, you know, ink and color and all that stuff. But yeah, it crossed my mind just to be like, hey, you know, I'll just compile this, and I don't know if anybody get it, like, because people seem to be more enamored with the full color pieces than anything else.
Yeah, I think like the underdrawing and the sketches are interesting.
Me too.
You know, we're from different, you know, when you're interested in drawing, and we have a lot of people in the audience that tend to like to draw.
No one cares about them, John.
You mean there's people watching us right now?
They're nothing but degenerates. Up at 11 in the morning. Should they be at work?
Actually, some of them are watching at work.
You know, when I was an IT guy, people used to hide that all the time. I'd walk into the room and everybody would shut down their browsers, thinking I'm going to like dark them out, get them in trouble. And, you know, I didn't have the heart to tell them that I just don't care.
Because you were the dorky IT guy, Drew.
Yeah, I was everybody's friend. My thing is like there's a lot of IT guys who would just like that Jimmy Fallon Saturday Night Live thing where
you're welcome.
Yeah, like they would be mean, man. And me, I'd be on their side. So like if let's say it's something silly like, hey, I can't get into my email, and then you see that they have their stapler on their keyboard and it's just pressing when it's pressing like, you know, the space bar down continuously, it's not going to open anything. And you see it and you're like, oh, and you move it, you just don't say anything. And then you say, oh, look, it's fixed. And like, oh, man, you're great. I was like, you know, I mess up all the time, man. It wasn't anything. I didn't do anything. It just, you know, all I did was close it and open it. And I try to be on their side.
You do like Barney Fife, just doing my job.
Yeah. Like I get it, man. We all like you. The only reason I'm here is because you don't know what you're doing. Like with IT work, I mean, if you knew what you were doing, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have a job. So I always feel like
you're doing great.
Yeah, I'm not going to ridicule somebody for something they're not supposed to know.
Hey, Drew.
Yeah.
How many people did you get that couldn't find the any key? I'm reading this manual and it says press any key to find it, continue, and I can't find my any key.
I will say if I wasn't partial to a person, I'd say this. I'm like, oh, you know what the problem was? It was the keyboard to seat interface.
Yeah.
He's like, what do we do to fix that? I was like, well, I don't know if there's anything we can do. That's just something that it's like, well, just order me a new keyboard then. I'm like, okay.
I was a
people
officer.
I loved. They were wonderful.
I was a computers officer for the Air Force for 8 years. And so, yeah, I understand that life.
Yeah, you get no appreciation. Like when everything's working great, you don't get like, hey,
yeah.
Man, good job.
So we used to joke that we're like the water company or the power company. Nobody calls you to say, hey, thanks, it's going great.
Yeah, they're always mad when they call you.
they call you when something's wrong.
I always felt like I was like a bartender because you'd sit at their desk and like fix whatever's wrong, but that usually takes 10, 15, 20 minutes. And they just sit and tell you about their whole life. Because you're just an impartial person who doesn't like
You're
isn't
just there,
around
man.
every day. So they're like, "Oh, my kids, man," and "Oh, this one's struggling," and you're just like, "Oh," and eventually you're like, "Oh, that's Steven, right?" Like, yeah, you know these people, but you don't really know them.
Did you ever tell someone to check their ID 10T switch?
No.
Say, what's wrong with my computer? Oh, your ID 10T switch is probably messed up. John, if you don't get it, write down ID 10T and then tell me what it looks like.
We used to like we wouldn't allow like people would bring switches from home, and like that's like one of the biggest no-nos in a private network to have like just one equipment you don't know is there. And these people came in from another company, and there was a buyout happening and stuff, and they brought their own switch, and I was like, you can't plug that in. They're like, well, we have 4 laptops. I was like, well, then I'll go get you a switch. Something happened where I couldn't go immediately to them, so they hooked this switch up. And what they did was, when they left the room, they took all the ends of the cables and looped them back into the switch, which causes an IP storm.
Right.
Back, and it shut the whole network down.
Yep.
Like completely. Yeah, and then we had to walk around the building looking just like, because we couldn't figure it out. We're like, what is going on? And then I remembered, I was like, those bitches plugged that switch in. You know they did, and sure enough, there it was.
Let me interrupt this tech talk for some art talk.
Check your ID 10T switch, John.
Yes. AG has a question that said he rewatched the end of the stream from yesterday, and he still was not sure what white pen you were using, Drew. And I put in there, I think it's spelled MOLTOW, Maltow.
There it is.
Maltow.
It's a Molotov, MOLO.
Like a Molotov cocktail?
It's like Molotov without the V on the end. It's a W.
Okay, so it's MOLTOW. All right, I'm going to type that in. MOLOTOW.
You can get it wide, or you can get it extra fine.
They can figure that out.
That's like me. I'm wide, but I'm extra fine.
But you can get them in different colors, but you could also get empty pens, like with nothing in them, and then you can pay $4 and get one of these.
Now, is that normally what you do, or do you get one filled already?
Well, that's the thing. I didn't know about these.
Well, is it cheaper than one filled, or is it the same price?
Well, to buy one, I think is $5.
Right.
And this is $4. And I've used it probably like 7-8 times, and it's still pretty full.
Did you say 70 or 7-8 times?
No, 7 or 8.
Okay. But wait a minute. So did you buy one that was already full or one that was empty?
I bought one that was full because I didn't realize that this existed.
Okay, but what's the price of a full one?
$5, I think.
And then the refill is $3 or $4?
Yeah, like $4. I think the empty ones are only $3.
So you may as well buy your first one full, so it's already flowing. And
yes, you could do that, or whatever you want. But the thing is, if you're not sure on what color you want,
so those come in different, like a variety of colors in.
Yeah, they come in chrome too.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, you can get gold and chrome.
See, I've seen Zach use the white
metallic. Huh?
I've seen Zach use the white ones.
Yeah, they have blue. They have it's like almost like Prismacolors. They have almost every color.
I'm trying to find. I'll get it in a minute. Because when we sign our signature in white at conventions, where's my little? Oh yeah, it's covered over with paper. I didn't even have to get out of my seat.
And if you're gonna buy them, like more than just one, if you're gonna buy a litany of them, go to Bombing Science. That's BOMBING Science. It's like a graffiti supply site. And they offer discounts, I think, for anything over $50 or something. So their pin price is the lowest I found, even lower than Amazon. I think it's only like $3 something. And that's where I order from. And I get some other stuff there too, because I am enamored with graffiti culture. So Bombing Science, and they always have deals like $10 off, 10% off, or free shipping, or it's something. And you get to support a smaller business too, who gives you a decent price. So yeah, Bombing Science. If you want those paint markers, they have other paint markers too, but they're the Poscos. But I like the Molotovs for certain things.
Now, see, I have this Craft Smart. This is a silver one, but Zach and I would get them in white at Michael's.
Yeah,
they work good for signing on some high gloss prints, or
they dry pretty quick.
He actually started using those Molotovs, and
yeah, they dry super quick.
Yeah, and so he tried a few different things. Because when we signed the Funko Pops in the window, we signed with white, and it really, no pun intended, it really does pop instead of using like a black Sharpie or something.
Yes, because that Molotov is flat, is super flat. Like,
yeah, he likes them. I never bought any because he's sitting right there, so he'll just be like, "You want to use this while it's flowing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
Don't look at any of this. I have to upload a page.
Let me.
Yeah, I just have to, or I'll forget to.
You want me to remove you for a minute, Drew?
Well, I'm almost done now.
Oh, okay.
I didn't look, Drew. If it makes you feel better, I didn't look.
You're only a sliver on the screen, so somebody.
Yeah. You can't see any passwords or anything anyway.
And AG says thank you.
It's blocked. All the passwords are. I just had to submit because I'll forget, like I did the last time I did pages on this, and I sent them to my editor, and he's like, "Are you gonna ever upload those pages?" And I was like, "Oh yeah."
And Jared Lloyd says he wants a Harry Potter.
Oh, can do. Happy to put him on the list. Hit me up. You know where to find me at Yard Sale Artists on Twitter, buddy.
Here's what he wrote. I want that Harry Potter page, he says. Now, did you do one? Or
I did Ginny Weasley from Harry Potter. This is a commission, but I'm happy to do one for him if he wants one.
But, well, that was one already spoken for?
Yes, this is a commission piece. Both the ones I'm doing today are commission pieces, but I can always do more.
So, Lloyd, if you're interested, you can get in touch with Jared via the Twitterverse, or what's your email, Jared?
You can email me at jared@theyardsaleartist.com.
There we go.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure we've recently become Twitter friends, so you can just drop me a message there. It's easy.
Just as long as you don't play dad rap for him.
Yeah, that's kind of a rule that we have, apparently. He doesn't love it like most people do.
Thank you, Lloyd.
Appreciate you.
Just wanted to help where I could.
Appreciate you.
Okay. Yay! Page is done.
All right.
I'll probably finish another one tonight.
Quit. Do you got to rub it in?
Oh. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a Black Knight now.
All right.
Okay, let me move this over.
Here's 15 minutes of fun.
I doubt it'll take that long.
Oh, yes.
I forget exactly he's got that helmet, right?
Yeah.
Now, do you want me to show the people the magic there, Drew?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay. For those of you who are interested in digital, Drew is working in Sketchbook Pro, which he does not recommend. Right, Drew?
What?
You
I don't recommend it if you use a tablet.
Yes.
It's horrible on a tablet.
He's really used to it. Am I correct?
Well, no, it's good on like your Mac or your PC, like the actual computer interfaces.
Right.
But on a tablet, it like a iPad or something. Yeah, good luck.
Right. But as you can see, what he's doing right now is he's drawing a straight-on view of Black Knight, and there's a mirroring option that he's got turned on.
Yeah.
So he literally has to draw half a face, and then it comes out nice and symmetrical.
Yes.
So that's why it looks like he's drawing on both sides when he's really only drawing on one.
Yeah, and then what I do is this is the rough, and once the rough is done, that's when you start adding the details, because you want it asymmetrical. Like if it's too symmetrical, it gets really stale, flat. Like you want some asymmetry in there, you know.
Right. There's a saying called like you want an odd man out.
Yeah.
Like you always want something on one side that, you know, I don't know if he's got like if he had a what are they, like a plume or something on top of his helmet, you know, you'd have it curling over to one side and it wouldn't be perfectly down the center, just to give it a little unbalance.
Yeah, you got a visual interest. It's like
AG says, wait, Drew, I'm sorry. This Jarrod?
Yes.
Read the screen.
AG. That's what I'm talking about. AG. Whoop, 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 whoop.
I gotta love that.
My man. My man. Oh, AG.
All right, so I just wanted to, that's an interesting little tip there. And I'll do it sometimes if I'm drawing on paper. I use this gridded stuff, and well, I print this out myself because I like the grid, because I'll use these angles. I also have lines that I can try to line stuff up with, so that I keep things like on an even kilter, so that, because usually and a lot of times if I'm sketching on paper and I don't try to find a center line or something, an eye is going to be a little higher than the other one, and it can drive you crazy. And you usually notice it after you've inked it.
Yeah.
So, you know, trying to get stuff lined up, and you know, you look at photographs, they can manipulate that. You know, they can move an eye up or move an eye down. But you know, it's just an interesting, that's part of a digital workflow that, you know, sketching on paper, you kind of have to do your own grid and, you know, kind of work it out that way. But I basically do the same thing when I draw on paper. Is I try to draw, you know, as symmetrical as possible, but I can't do it as exact as what Drew's doing. And then, like he said, he always goes back and throws in a little something to throw.
You just turn it off, and like with this, probably his mouth. Take this, and then like give him like just a slight snarl.
Yeah.
And then you can go back to this and then get his chin in there. Then with that snarl, you have to start changing other things, because that brings this side up some, you know?
I like that snarl.
And then it just really saves. Oh it saves time, especially when you're really, really busy. Because I mean, you could render each whisker on each side, or you could do this. And it just, I mean, it cuts the time in half. Literally.
And Drew still inks it, and that you can't do. I mean,
I wish.
I mean, if it was a digital ink job, he could.
I probably still wouldn't do this because it has to have nuances. It has to be different. Like if I were to ink this, I totally would not do the symmetry tool, just because of that. Like it loses something with it, like human error.
Right. Yeah.
And there's a life that it loses. But just even that little thing here, like, and then even the eyes. Like I might want the shadow to come heavier on this side, so I'll do this. And then like this, because if I do this symmetrically, it'll go here, not here. Like now, the light coming straight down.
That Black Knight, does he have like a jacket on?
Yeah.
Okay, the one I had like a cape,
Yeah, this one is the
Black jacket.
Oh, he went the jacket Black Knight.
You know what I don't know who did it, and it was hot for a while, and it's kind of, I don't know, it kind of disappeared. But whoever was developing that Rockabilly Batman, it was some fan that was putting it all together.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Google Rockabilly Batman when you get a chance, Drew, and in between like 15 drawings or something, take a 10-minute break and
next time you're in the men's room.
yeah. Next time you're just on your phone, next time you're, whatever. But no, I mean, this Rockabilly Batman, it looked incredible. I was like, man, I wish I would have had that idea, because I would have maybe did like a 5 or 6 page story just for fun.
Yeah, sometimes I have ideas like that I want to do. I always worry though, like that my editor's like, you're doing what? Like, shouldn't you be like finishing the comic you're supposed to be showing?
Well, you've heard about some of the freelancers like getting emails from their editors when they see they're at a convention and they're like late on their deadlines.
Yeah, yes. And you know what I do? If that anything, I'm not usually late, but the last time I was gonna be late was in November. I emailed my editor, and this is weird because his response was just wonderful. I was like, hey man, I forgot I had this show, and I have to do it because I said I would. Right. But to be honest, it's going to put me 2 days late. Like I'm going to be 2 days late because I'm going to finish a page there. It's still going to put me 2 days late because during the show I'm not doing pages the 2 days I'm there. And he actually emailed me back. I was like, well, this is awkward because I never had anybody email me before they were late to tell me they were going to be late. Usually it's like way after. So yeah, whatever. Take your time. Like,
I did that. I always felt I should email the editor if I knew I was going to miss by a day or two.
Yeah.
Well, I said email, but basically I would call them and say, hey, look, I need a day or two at the most. Is that all right? And I never had anyone go, oh no, you better have it in there, because they do have a little padding built in.
Yeah, because
you'll find that. I mean, if you haven't found that out already, it's in there.
Oh, always, and it's not just for us; it's for
it's
everybody down the line.
What really frustrates me is when a writer takes all the time that is built in.
I'm not commenting on that.
Couldn't get you to bite on that one, eh?
John, I'm still trying to work, John.
You sound like Steve Orlando now when I mentioned something on a panel, and he's like, "You don't need to mention that. I'm still trying to stay busy."
Yeah, I yeah.
Never mind.
I'm gonna say that the people I'm working with now are wonderful. How about that?
Hey, you know what? I know Nick Barucci. He's a nice guy.
You know, I've never met him, but he said some really nice things
about me, right?
Well, why?
Well,
at New York Comic Con last year, and it actually made me feel pretty good because I don't know, man. Like you don't really, you know this. I mean, you get compliments from like fans and stuff, and that's awesome. But when you get a compliment from like, the editor or the president of this company, it just hits you different. Like, it's a little bit, you get that appreciation that you don't really get professionally.
Right.
So, yeah.
So my compliments mean nothing to you.
Well,
I'm just busting your balls.
I thought that was a given, John.
I live for the hope of a John Beatty compliment.
You just pepper me with sugar kisses because you just you want my body. It's fine. It's not the first time. Yeah, I met this guy, this collector once, and he's like, I never met you.
Sounds like it's already going bad.
Well, he was like, you look a lot younger than I thought you would be. I was like, oh, that's not youth. I'm just fat.
Yeah, right.
He was like, oh, yeah. I was like, yeah.
It doesn't show those wrinkles. It pulls them right out.
Yeah, it just flattens all that out, man. And I'm Asian, so that helps. My mom is like 70 years old, and she probably looks like she's in her 50s.
I do know.
I don't know. All the old Asian ladies still look young to me.
Yeah.
Even my wife, I feel like she looks younger than she is. Okay, now I can get rid of the red. Boop. Start playing.
Dad rap is my ringtone. I read that and I was like, that's the best.
That makes me feel good, man. Know that it's out there. It's happening.
1992. You get a little nasal on that, Jarrod. See, I think they should have produced it. Well, we already had that discussion, but anyway.
It's perfect as is, John. That's all you need to
know.
know.
It's been 4 years. It's time to update. It's time for Dad Rap 2, the sequel.
Granddad Rap is coming in a few years.
Oh, no.
Hey, don't push that because, your one kid is getting up there.
Yeah, I know. The one that
Could
called me father.
Father, I seem to have gotten Jenny down the street pregnant.
Oh,
easy. I don't need that in my life, John. Don't put that on me.
Hey, you're the one that's saying granddad, and look, I think
and now it's gonna come true. You had to put it out in the universe.
I know.
Well, somebody had to.
John's gonna be paying child support for Jarrod.
Oh boy,
It's like he said it. You're responsible.
How does that work? I don't understand that law.
I'm just making this up as I go. And Jarrod doesn't seem to be complaining about it. So.
Oh man.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of straight on headshots.
I kind of dig them personally.
But sometimes people ask for them.
I think they think they're getting their money's worth more.
Yeah. I always say, like, how does it, like, the overall piece, how does it look, Do you like it? Like, sometimes a profile can be just as...
I agree. if not more so, depending on the person.
Yeah. I mean, Alphonse Muka did tons of profile shots people love.
Look at Jay Lee knocking those profile drawings for covers out.
So elegant, his
Oh
line.
my gosh. The design of them is phenomenal.
Yeah, he's a wonderful person. We're gonna have babies.
Heard it here first, everybody.
You gotta wait in line for me.
Oh, I wait in line for no man.
It was funny. Last time I saw him, I think it was Minneapolis and Louisville.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen him in a while, and he was getting he'd put on some weight, and I told him he was getting fat. And he's like, he was real funny. He's like, I know. He goes, I've gotten so lazy. He goes, I need to lose some weight. I'm like, June's going to leave you.
He's Korean, so
yeah.
The first thing that a Korean lady says to someone who they haven't seen in a long time, they go, "Oh, you're so fat. Oh, why are you so fat? You need to lose weight." They could know you for 5 minutes. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you lost too much weight, oh, what you need to eat? You're sick. Are you sick?
You're right. And but in the Philippines, being chubby is like a sign of wealth and health.
Oh, I'm rich as hell, man.
When I lost 55 pounds, my wife was like, why are you so skinny now? And I'm like, Bella, I'm healthier. I had to lose weight. It's like my blood work and everything was fine, but just for myself, and she's like, but I like your belly. And I said, yeah, my belly's not healthy. That's going to kill me. And maybe that was maybe that was her idea. I have no idea, but yeah, you're right.
This is paid up, is what you're saying.
Is what?
The life insurance is paid up.
It's up. Yeah, it's paid up. It's almost up, I think. No, I got it when I was 45.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember if it was a 20-year policy.
I'll be 45 this year. I was thinking the same thing. I had life insurance when I was younger, and I cashed it out so I could buy a car.
That was smart.
Yeah, it was smart. I was 21, but I didn't get it because my dad had cashed it out apparently before I could cash it out.
You mean your dad that?
Yeah, that guy.
That went.
Here we go again.
Yeah, that guy. My mom was like, because I was gonna pay for college and get a car with my life insurance money that it was paid up, and I called the Merrill Lynch or whoever we had it with, and they were like, "Oh no, this was cashed out 3 years ago." I was like, "Oh sweet." Oh, my mother was livid.
You and your dad have the same name?
Yeah.
So
he's my Facebook friend now.
Huh?
He's a Facebook friend now. He likes to argue politics. That guy hates Trump. Like he likes to start fights. It's it is crazy watching this. He has this thread from August 2017, and you think it's over, and my wife will be like, "Someone's starting again." It's like 600 comments deep. It's pretty amazing. And he's super mean. I'm like, what is going on? And like, it's not like he's just saying mean things. He argues facts. Like, he doesn't like make stuff up. He'll actually throw down some facts and links to his sources and stuff. And he doesn't put up sites that are like editorials. He puts up like legit facts. And that makes it worse. Put out legit facts and people I don't know, it gets crazy. I just watch and sit in the background, man. I don't have time for that type of.
I don't either. I stay away from politics, religion. You get too deep in it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's.
In fact, it's sad that I've seen so many friendships ruined over Facebook stuff.
I agree. I used to not talk about my religion because I've had people act really negative to it, and it used to scare me. But then, as in, they would look at me differently.
Right.
So, but I got to this point where I'm really secure in myself. So I don't know. If people know me, they know me as a person. So if what I believe bothers you that much, and you probably you weren't somebody I want in my life anyway.
Right.
So it's fine. I'm very vocal about it now. I'm proud of who I am. So, and plus, I do 900 drawings a day. So
that's right. So, yeah.
It's all about production, man.
So beat that, right?
Yeah. You want to? I still want to enter the quick draw at Heroes. I don't think that's for people who are paid professionals.
I don't do quick draws. Did you say do I want to enter one?
No, I wanted to at one point, but then I was I don't think paid professionals.
Oh, okay, yeah. You'd smoke everyone.
Some of those guys are quick, man.
That's true. That is true.
You ever see animators draw? It's ridiculous.
Yep.
You ever see Sergio draw?
Argones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't, but I assume it's amazing.
Yeah, you could go on YouTube and look at these panels that he does with, Mark is there. And basically, Mark just gets people from the crowd to shout out things they want added to the drawing. And Sergio's drawing them as fast as people are shouting them out. You're like, what?
That's amazing.
It's crazy.
I'm going to go circle on this one, John.
Oh, John, he's going circle. Don't
ever go. Oh,
I've influenced him. It's the Jarrod Alberich yard sale artist influence.
Let's take a quick look here. All right, here's my Wolverine coming along.
Classic Wolverine.
Yep. Here's Jarrod working on. You gonna color that? What do you got there? Stormtrooper.
It's a Stormtrooper. So no, you don't get
color. A book page.
Yep. Book page sketches. It's a zombie Stormtrooper. Ooh.
Interesting.
I see the zombiness on his chest, the way it's caving in.
Yep. He's got a caving in chest. He's got a busted thing. You can barely see his eyes, dripping goo out of that wound on his arm. He's all jacked up.
All right. And then Drew has got his Black Knight.
He's done.
He's done a circle. That's all I know.
Now,
I'm actually going to go buy...
where's the circle tool in Sketchbook Pro?
What?
Where's the circle tool in Sketchbook Pro?
Right here. See it?
Oh, okay.
Make it bigger, smaller. You
just stroke it?
You can make it an oval. And yeah, you can go thin to thick.
When you get it to the size you want, you just how do you get the line?
Well, you just draw it. So here, I'm gonna this circle is right here.
Yeah.
Let me make a layer. And you can go thin and then
the stylus will just track on it, right?
Thin and thick. And then if you want the cool thing is I love doing this, if you need an equal.
Right. Yep.
And also you have look at that, John.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and look, they have different ones.
I put that back on my iPad a few weeks ago when you told me you were using it, and I haven't really messed around with it much. And that's probably all I would do is mess around with those tools and draw a circle and go, oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah. It is. It's nothing without the brushes.
Genome, that round ample John had to get a little less ample. That's what happened to him.
Let's see. Oh, I'm trying to get.
All right, so let's. Jarrod, are you done?
I am done. In fact, I'm gonna have to dip out here in just a second.
I was gonna say, grab something else to work on.
I would, but I got other things I got to go do on my computer.
Oh, I'm gonna grab.
All right. Do you want to announce what you're working on in the background or not?
Who?
Jarrod.
Oh, sure. I've just set up my own YouTube account and page. Did that yesterday. Posted my first video of me doing a piece of yard sale art. It's just Jarrod Alberich, the yard sale artist. So if you just search yard sale artist, you will find the new page. I'd really appreciate anybody who would stop by and give it a like and a follow or click the bell, or if that's, I think that's how that works here. So
Ring the bell, whatever.
Yep. Oh, nice night thrasher. And yeah, so I'm on that now, and my usual Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram all at Yard Sale Artist. But yes, the YouTube started yesterday.
So when are you going to launch? Well, I mean, I guess you already said you started it yesterday.
Mm-hmm. I posted a short, like 4 or 5 minute video that my son and I did of me kind of explaining yard sale art and doing a quick montage on a piece.
Oh, okay.
That I did out in my building studio.
So I saw that link you did.
Yep, it was the link. Jordan did a fun video on that. So look for more videos of yard sale art, and then of course live streams. I should be live streaming tonight with friend of the show Mark Hatherley. And once again, that's all going down on my channel, which is Jarrod Alberich, the yard sale artist. Again, if you just search yard sale artist, you should find it. And I'd really appreciate a subscription and some thumbs up.
So if you've been following Jarrod on Longbox Crusade, switch over to the yard sale.
Yes. I will still occasionally do drawings over on Longbox Crusade, but most of it's going to be done at yard sale now. Yes.
Very good.
I appreciate it. And then now that your favorite son, Ron, is here, he can take over for me. I'm going to go take care of a few things. Thanks for having me on, John. If you are around and in the mood tonight, I'll send you a link for a live stream over on my channel.
All right. Well, since the movie got
kiboshed.
Well, yeah, I may wind up seeing. I think they were going to see. Is it called Doolittle?
Oh, the new Dr. Doolittle movie.
Yeah, but Bella was saying it like do little, as in like not do a lot or something. Is that is that the new Doolittle? I mean,
the new Dr. Doolittle movie starring Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, she said it's the guy that plays Iron Man, and
she's correct.
And I'm like, oh, you mean Robert Downey Jr.? And she's like, Iron Man. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'll send you a link, and if you're sitting around bored, jump in, and if not, you won't break my heart. And hopefully I'll see some of y'all there tonight as we pretty much officially launch the Yard Sale Artist YouTube page.
All right.
I'll see you around. Del Regard Lloyd, hit me up on the Twitters if you need that book page sketch, buddy. We'll make that happen. I appreciate your support and everybody's support. And thanks for having me on, John.
All right. We will catch you later, and good luck tonight.
All right. See you, Drew.
Later, Jay.
Rod, I understand that movie probably tanked, but I think it's a kid-friendly movie for a 7-year-old, even though my kid, when I got him his Xbox for Christmas, I also got him GTA 5. And after 2 days, his mother said, that's going back. So we traded it in for Halo, which he doesn't play. He liked stealing cars and running from the cops in GTA. What can I say? He knows the difference in real life and games.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
I'll explain it to you like I explained it to him.
Yeah, I always told my kids that like you can't believe everything that you read or see. Like if you, because it's all how somebody else sees it, or the information they tend to give you is the information they want you to know.
Right.
So, like, if you really don't agree with something, or you think something's suspicious, like, go look it up yourself. Like, form an opinion for yourself. Don't let other people tell you how you should feel about or how you should see things. And eventually, if you keep doing that, then you start formulating, like I said, your own opinions, your own personality. And it's not, I don't want him to be contrarian to everything, but I just, there's so much out there that's just not real. And then that goes with not just news, but like everything. Like, we're so locked in with our devices, and we believe whatever the devices say. And, luckily I grew up without the devices. So like, I feel like I at times I'm very like skeptical or impartial about things. Like somebody will tell me something and I'll go, I don't know if that sounds right. Like I'm gonna have to look at it. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes what they told me is correct, and sometimes it's not. It's just influenced by, the 10 other people who told them.
Right.
It's kind of like that whisper or the secret thing, the whisper when you find something out and you whisper it in someone's ear and they tell somebody else by the 10th person it's completely different.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Yeah, so my eldest is really good at that. Like he'll question things, and it's kind of refreshing. My youngest questions too many things to the point where you're just like, God, come on, man! I'm not like I'm your dad.
I'm like, you can question anything but me.
Like I'm trying, man. He's a good kid. I don't know why I'm doing the moon first.
Because it just feels right.
Yeah, it's gonna pop, and I want to.
Because you're doing this, Drew. Blue moon.
Oh, jeez. How much do I have to pay you to stop?
Well, if we had Jarrod here, no, he doesn't do live dad rap. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because he doesn't quote unquote remember it.
Yeah.
He knows every line.
I bet he sings it all the time. He's in the car humming it.
He's probably in the car right now doing it.
I bet it's on a loop.
He knows every word.
Every word. He wrote those words. I don't care if it was 4 years or 40 years ago.
Sometimes I wonder about that. Like, do people... I remember almost every drawing I've ever done. I probably remember every one. I'm only saying almost because I'm fallible.
How about when somebody brings you one up from, 10 years ago from some convention or something, and you're like, oh, don't show me that.
Well, I do that when somebody comes up to me and they're like, hey, do you remember me? And I'll look at them, I'll go, Princess Leia, right? He's like, yeah, I got Princess Leia. I'm like, yeah, I remember you.
Like you're like, I could really do you a better one now.
You know how many times I've thought that? But then a lot of people I don't get more than one piece from an artist.
Yeah, I know. I hate those people.
So I'm like, well, you said I could be better now. So it might be. But I get it. Well, some people don't evolve artists, like they're still the same. They draw exactly the same as they did 20 years ago.
Well, look, when you're as good as say Michael Golden or Mike Zeck or something,
even Mike Golden,
no, they evolve.
I feel like he got better too. Like he was already amazing, but yeah, I feel like he got better too. Yay! I want it. I don't know why. Like I said, I'm doing this first. This is usually the last thing I do. Oh,
because you started upside down, maybe. Upside down. Now I'm singing now that Jarrod left. See, I don't know why. He would have sung with me.
yeah. I might have to get off soon because my wife is not feeling well. She's at home, and I'm gonna make her some lunch.
That's not a problem because I didn't plan on staying on like yesterday. This was just till whenever.
I figured as much because I forgot that we said that we were going to try and do this today.
Yeah.
I saw the tweet and I was like, oh, yeah.
You were like, dang it.
That's fine.
I lost track of the time. Oh, it is almost noon.
Yeah, I'm going to make her some something light because her stomach checked up some. So it may be what I had, or it could be something she ate because my stomach was pretty rough all weekend. It was not a. It was a horror show here. Better now, I am. So
now it's her turn. You gave it to her, whatever it was.
that's what I think, or I don't know.
Could be a virus or stomach, some sort of intestinal virus. Or Ron would know better.
Well, I ate light last night. She ate regular dinner, so I don't know if that's what made her sick or just like maybe the bug I had.
I think I need to. Do I need to bring this up? Oh no, that's way too high. Okay.
Man, I like Night Thrasher. I think he's a silly character.
He is.
But I kind of like that. The fact that a skateboarding superhero was a leader of a team blows my mind. How do you take that guy seriously? I used to skateboard a lot when I was younger, and no one took me seriously.
Now, Rod asked this question. What is the right way to approach you guys when, if me or one of us would like to show you our work? Maybe not even for work in the biz. Oh, it just skipped. But thoughts on art, improving, etc., etc.
I don't know. Any time is good. As long as you give one of us time enough to answer you, meaning that we may not be able to answer right off the bat, but if you give us time, I can do that. I can't speak for John, but like you just got to give me a window of time because like we're busy, and I'll be happy to do that. I've done it a lot. It's just hard when people are pushy about it. Like, hey, I emailed you 2 hours ago. Did you look at my stuff yet?
I would say if you're at a convention, even if the person doesn't look busy, number one, ask them if they're willing to do to look at work first of all, because sometimes I don't like to do it because I never know what to expect. It's sometimes you get a pleasant surprise. Sometimes you see stuff that's really bad and it's tough, Yeah,
because you don't want to be mean,
right?
But you also want to be kind of honest,
And then second, after you ask if they would be willing to, make sure they have time. Make sure there's not like, for me, like a line of people waiting to get books signed. Because there are times when I sit down at a convention, Zach and I have been at shows, and I swear literally the first like 3 to 5 hours can be nonstop signing of like Secret Wars and Punisher and stuff like that. And it's just like, I feel like I don't even have time to catch my breath. So don't come up in that line with a portfolio and go, "Hey, could you look at my stuff?" It's
That's good advice.
well, it's just and like that's why I say, even if the person doesn't look busy, just ask if they want to do it, and that goes, I think, for about anyone, because everybody's going to have their different opinions on your work, and I'll tell you this much too. And Drew, maybe you've seen the same thing. I've been seeing a lot of people lean more and more into the anime style, and I don't know where to go on a critique on that. That's not my jam.
Well, I always say if you want to get into American comics, it's a different mindset. Like in manga and in American comics, like in manga, like they rear people to draw like the last person or whoever their mentor is.
Yeah, it's a full studio type thing.
Yeah, and in American comics, like manga doesn't necessarily sell. So like if you want to do manga, then do like manga. Don't. You probably should go to people who do that, not like someone like you or I. I can tell you storytelling how it works, but manga's a different beast when it comes to. There's a lot of flourish in it. There's a lot of like the pacing's different than in American comics, but I always direct people like you should go talk to like someone else who does the Tokyo Pop stuff, because I'm going to give you my perspective, which may not be what you're looking for, but I'll do it. I mean, I can still like the job of both of those things is to tell a story, right?
Yeah, I was gonna, and that's just what I was gonna touch on. I was gonna say you can still, even if the drawing is, say, anime inspired or something, you should still be able to follow the story sequentially. And most samples I've seen, people bring up the one thing that they don't have, and I'm kind of happy, is they don't have word balloons. So that gives me an opportunity to just look at, did they establish where the scene is taking place, because you need to know. A lot of people skip that. They just want to jump into
establishing shots. People skip establishing shots. Even professionals do that.
Right.
And it's ridiculous.
I mean, there is a way to do it, but I think it has to be, because I prefer a movie that gets me into the action and then, maybe give me 10 to 15 minutes to really draw me in fast and then go to the backstory.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but I've seen movies done really well, where all of a sudden you're in the middle of the movie and then you kind of work your way back to how you got there. And,
there's like little things like when people change environments in the middle of a page.
Yes.
There's ways to do that too. But most people who are getting portfolio reviews that do that don't ever do it right. But there are ways to do it. Maybe have when the change happens, have that panel break the borders. Because it has to jar you into another place. Or even how insets work, like how panels in panels work. Like usually when panels are in smaller panels or in larger panels, that action's happening at the same time. They're not usually separate, like pacing one beat to the next. They're like happening. Like if somebody's setting a bomb, at a party, you show a giant panel of a party and then a smaller inset panel of somebody setting a bomb. That tells the reader that that's probably happening at that party. Instead of doing it as a separate beat, it tells you that it's happening at the same time. Like a lot of people just throw insets in there just to do it. Like, hey.
Well, if you take the time on the establishing shot to really map everything out where stuff is, whether you're, you know, outside a building, establish that building, establish where you're at inside the building. And if you do it well once, you don't have to worry about it, you know.
Yeah, until you change it to another place.
Exactly. So if you have 5 or 6 pages, you know, you can cheat a bit then. It's like, just do your job correctly the first time once really well. And you don't have to worry about, you know, every little detail. If you just have a couple of people talking, you know, in a room, because you've already established where they're at.
Yeah, I agree totally. I mean, it's like little, and those are storytelling fundamentals. It's not even like advanced storytelling. That's like that is a fundamental of storytelling. It's not what we used to call, my friend and I used to call master class. Like there's some people who do master class stuff, like stuff that is like foreshadowing and like internal dialogue and meaning to every shot. Like there are those guys. Sean Murphy does stuff like that. But then like or even Chris Somney does stuff like that. But like and then there's the 1, 2, 3, 4 pacing guys, which I tend to fall into sometimes. When you're on a schedule, you're not really thinking that deep, so you're just like 1, 2, 3, action. You know, smaller panel, less time; larger panel, longer time. You know, what's the most important panel? And am I building off of that, or like, you know, you just little things, not like your deep stuff, just fundamentals.
And then Rod wants to know if we're willing to look at work also that would not be like, you know, it would be outside comics. And sure, that's, you know, that's fine too.
Work outside of comics? I knew you'd like that.
I do. That's the good paying work, is work outside of comics. What's really good is when you find I've had a few of these gigs through an art agent where he knows I'm a comic book illustrator, and somebody comes to him and they want a comic book look, and you know, he's like, yeah, I have a guy like that I can get a hold of, and good paying gigs.
Yeah, they always pay more, don't they?
They pay a lot more, but they're few and far between, you know.
Storyboards for Comcast. And I mean, man, they were only like 30-second spots, so they weren't a lot of storyboards. I did like 3 of them, and they gave me a crazy amount of money.
I agree, man.
And I was like, are you sure? And he's like, well, this is what's in the budget. So if I don't spend it, I don't get this next time.
Yeah.
You get it.
No, they you know, it's when I was working in the DC Warner licensing department doing vector, ink, and color, you know, it paid me better than page rate. It didn't pay probably what something like that should have, but it was steady there for a while. I mean, it was so steady that 14 and 16-hour days on style guides and stuff, and you know, they would have different, like they would have like a kid's version, they would have like a tween, and then they would have like, I guess, an adult, you know, 18 plus. And so they would have 3 different versions of like, you know, different looks for these style guides. And that Green Lantern movie that came out, like, so many, I don't know how long ago. It was quite a while, probably what, 9 years ago or so, 10 years
like that.
Yeah. The style guide on that thing was huge. I mean, there was so much work to be done. And, you know, you work on a project like that on and off for like a year, fitting other smaller style guides, you know, in between. Now, when they moved out to California, they actually hired a studio somewhere to just handle everything, which meant, I lost that work, but I kind of understand it because
there's lots of studios out there.
Well, I don't even know if it was a studio in California.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think it was one overseas. I think they did go with somebody in the States. But here's what makes sense to me is I understand they have a budget for these style guides. So if they hire a studio, they pay they give the studio they still have like Ryan Sook did a lot of the pencils for some of the style guide stuff. Brett Breeding was doing a lot of the inking, like traditional inking. And so they were kind of, and I don't know, I don't know if they're still doing that stuff or not. But the production part, the part I was doing, which was very labor intensive, if you've ever worked in Illustrator, it's a slow process. It's,
Yeah, I don't like it.
Well, I learned to like it, because it was something, and that's why I learned to like it, is because so many people hated it. I learned to master it so that I could be a go-to guy, But anyway, long story short is, so they have a budget after they pay, say, the initial, getting the pencils, the inks, whatever, drawing and stuff done.
I got somebody knocking on my door.
Okay. And so yeah, they basically would just, my theory is, pay the budget to that studio, and then that studio has hourly employees, so they just pay them per hour, and the studio makes money and the employee makes money. So it kind of cuts me, the freelancer, out. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, 15 years in video game. Well, that's cool, Rod. Yeah, like David there says, Genome, video game art's pretty cool. What were you out in the California, LA area working on that, or someplace else? I don't know, Ron. The movie thing got killed with the girl that was gonna drive. She got called into work now. Bella called me during this stream, so I might be taking Jacob and Bella to the movie. So I'll have to see if they still want to go to the movie. I think Jacob had his heart set on it. I am gonna quickly scrub in some blacks just because I want to see him. I'm going to have to add some lighting to his face too. I was just wanting to get the kind of the look of what I wanted to do on that sketch cover. I'll give this a little time to sit and see if I like it. This is a Pitt Faber-Castell big brush that I'm using. In Chicago, okay. Okay. Coin up. Golden Tee Golf. Huh. Well, I don't know that one, but so you didn't transition over when everything went. I don't know what I would call it. Instead of coin op, when it went to consoles, I guess, like home consoles. Or maybe you couldn't, maybe it wasn't because I see you said you're a stay-at-home dad now, which is great. Maybe that's what Hey, Ken. Do I collect comic art? No. Nope. I've had some nice pages, and I don't know. If I collected art, I would still have all of the Beatty artwork. That wouldn't be out in the open. I would keep my own. I would have my Batman artwork with Kelly. The page that, and it wasn't that it was the greatest page ever, but I liked it, was when Hellboy and Batman shook hands, when Mignola did that Batman, Hellboy, Starman was in there too. So, but it was the page, I think, from the first issue where Batman and Hellboy meet and shake hands. I had that page. Oh, I got your Rod. Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. That makes sense. Well, thank you. More lines. He will get more lines eventually on this thin paper. I usually don't even fill in blacks. I usually just kind of leave it open, but just to kill a little extra time while Drew had to answer his door, I figure I can kind of figure some of it out. I can't believe I was going to put I was thinking of putting his trap up there. Boy, I would have to bring the whole thing down and really sink his head down into his shoulders more. Don't want to go that far. I think this is just fine now that I took a second look at it. Hey, when I try to draw the Punisher, I always think of Mike too, and I can never get the eyes or something right, and it winds up looking too weird. So I usually give up and just go to what I would consider my version of the Punisher. But that's why I don't like to draw him, because Mike really established him as far as I'm concerned, and I just have a hard time, looking at the Punisher drawn by anyone else. I know that sounds a little, I don't know what, but it's really the truth. I'm not going to leave those lines like that. I'm just thinking if I should shade in a little bit of his head that way. We'll see in the final. I know I'm going to have to add a shadow. I'm probably playing around with this way too much. Oh, by the way, I don't know when I'm going to do it, but sometime soon, I'm going to take an hour or so and do an AMA, and that's a Ask Me Anything. So for those of you that have been asking for me to answer questions, that'll be your opportunity to jump on. I'll be over at my desk, and full attention will be on questions from the chat. I'm just going to leave this little. So that maybe I'll do that next week. Yep, Mike has a definite look on the Punisher. The eyes, the chin, the squint of the eyes. He's really got that nice squint.
I'm back.
All right.
Did I miss anything?
No.
Oh. I was waiting too. You had me. I was captivated.
That was what?
I was captivated.
About what?
The pause you did. I was like, oh, what did I miss? What do they call that? FOMO, fear of missing out.
That's right.
My son suffers from that, but I think all teenagers do.
I sometimes suffer from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, man, I should be there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, all it does is it once you go to a place that you think you're missing out on something and experience it, and then you're like, that's it. It kind of cures you pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that boat. It's like I like seeing what people are doing, like when they post on social media, and I think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to dismiss like that people are having a good time,
right,
or having a cool experience. It's more like if I'm not there, I don't care. I don't know. I make the best of what I have, and I used to get it. I used to think like, man, they just look like they're having the best time. I wish I was part of that.
Right.
But I don't know what happened in my life, but I did later in life. I mean, I'm saying like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I was like that. I don't know. I just went away.
You grew up.
I guess so. I don't know about that.
Well, to that degree, you grew up.
Yes, to that degree, I am. I don't know. Yeah, I used to remember just getting that like. It's an odd feeling to be like, oh my god, like they're having so much fun and I'm fucking not doing it. Like
I'm stuck in here doing my 12th headshot for the day.
Yeah, or yeah, but then like I don't know. I just enjoy where I'm at. I used to also make plans. Like
Right.
I went to shows, I would be like, oh, we're gonna have dinner with this guy or this lady or whatever. Like we're gonna have dinner with these people and all this stuff. And I stopped doing that too.
I don't do that.
Yeah, I make plans when they happen. Uh, like people will try and make, hey, you want to come? I'm like, usually like the last 30 minutes of the show.
Yeah, but that's the way it goes. It's you because you never know how busy a show is going to be or what's going to happen, and if you get stacked up and you got to work in the room and you don't feel like going out because you're going to be like out later than you really want to be.
Yeah, well,
that's why I at Heroes Con I don't even go back down. Once I'm upstairs in the room, I don't go near that West End bar.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I don't. I will say though, like okay, perfect example. A couple years ago, I was rooming with some people, and it was after the show, and somebody came up and was like, "Hey, we're gonna go get Thai," and I was like, "Ooh, that sounds good. Like I would love to get some Thai."
4 hours later.
Well, no, and one of the guys I was rooming with was like, "Hey, you should come get sushi with us because this guy's gonna be there, that guy's gonna be there, this editor's gonna be there." And I'm sorry, I went to that sushi place before and it was horrible.
Right. Okay. So you had an experience with the sushi place.
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't like that sushi. That place sucks. And he's like, well, it'd probably be good for you to go. And I'm like, yeah, but then I'm hungry. like, is it really? I've done this long enough.
It was like my first time at Marvel when they went for sushi and I didn't know any better. And I just have this chance to go to a lunch with all these editors and other like people in the business, freelancers. And I'm like, okay. And then I have raw fish and hot water. And afterwards I'm telling Zach, look, I got to get a burger somewhere. I'm starving. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was more like sometimes there's not opportunity where you see it. And the people who invited me to go get Thai, I really like them. There's no opportunities there other than hanging out with some really cool people. Like sometimes that's all you need, right? You don't need, and I'm not that guy either. I'm not going to be a fake friend to get a job.
Right. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
Now I'm cordial to everybody, but like business is business. Like that shouldn't affect, even though it does. Let's be honest, it does.
Yep, it does.
But it shouldn't, right? Like, but that person went and had awful sushi. I went and had wonderful Thai. In Charlotte, they have this really awesome Thai place down the street from Mertz that I really enjoyed. They gave us refills.
Is great.
Ron, isn't it?
Ron experienced Mertz for the first time last year.
Oh, did you go when it was crowded, or did you try and hit it off before it got crazy?
I don't know when he went. I actually skipped Mertz last year. I went to that soul food place that spelled Seoul.
Yeah, you said you're gonna show me that.
Man, you got it. Those wings that they're like, I don't know what kind of steroids they pump into those chicken drummies, but they're huge and they're double fried. They're like candied or something.
Yeah, they're Korean fried chicken.
Oh my gosh, they are
totally down with that.
They are so delicious. And I ordered a brisket because I was playing it safe because I'm like, I'm not a big fan of wings. I'm just
at a show. You don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I'm just not a big fan of wings because it's like I want some meat. It's like.
Well, I usually don't eat meat on the bone.
Right.
just a weirdness on me. But my wife gets these wings from Bonchon that are Korean fried chicken wings.
Right.
And for some reason, I'll eat those. They're just delicious. So I want to try this soul food place out.
Yeah, no, that place is great.
At least one day.
Yeah, we did it. I think Thursday.
Yeah, that's a good day.
Because it's good for the restaurant too.
On.
Yeah, it's good for the restaurant too because it's not a Friday night.
Yeah,
so you're not trying to get in when it's all crowded and there's a long wait and stuff.
I'll text you on Thursday.
Yeah.
And we've got to do that. That sounds like a plan. Is it far?
No, it's only like a 3 or 4 block walk, I think.
Oh, that's nothing.
And you know what's interesting is I didn't know it until Saturday, and I was there Thursday, that they put that Whole Foods onto the Westin.
Yeah, they did that 2 years ago.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, that Whole Foods is great. I hit it up for breakfast every morning. They have that breakfast buffet, you know?
Yep. Yeah, no, I really wish I wish I would have known it was there. Now the guy that was helping me, Sean, at my table, he was staying in the room, and he's the one that found out about it, and he went over and brought some stuff back. And I said, "There's a Whole Foods here," and he's like, "Yeah, it's like literally attached to the Westin, but you have to go outside."
Yeah.
And I was like, they need to knock a hole in that overpriced restaurant that the Westin has.
Yeah, that Whole Foods, they opened it 2 years ago, and that first year it was open, I think I ate there for every meal. And plus you can buy water there and just take it to your room.
Right.
And that is in itself a blessing, you know? Like, that's
what I did is I bought a lot of stuff Saturday night. I went there. I think Sean and I you know what? I had some sketches I needed to do. So I made this huge salad that was bigger than I thought it was because they give you that box and it's kind of hard to judge. And I think I made like a salad that was like almost 2 pounds or maybe a little over 2 pounds.
Like $25.
Exactly. So, but I ate it all.
You have all that fruit in there.
No, I didn't have fruit. It was all like lettuce and veggies and, stuff like that. But yeah, they do have fruit. But, I just bought a lot of really good, healthy stuff and put it in the fridge. And we had stuff that, it was great. I mean, it's nice. It's nice to be able to go to the room and then I don't have to come back out. I know that sounds like I'm being a hermit, but when you're busy, it's like, you know how those elevators get.
I take the secret staircase to the second floor.
I think someone told me about that.
No one told you about that?
No, I said I think someone did. It's around the corner, right?
It's in the lobby. It's like when I first started going to Heroes, I saw some people walk into it. This was like 6-7 years ago. Like not when I first. I guess when I first started getting tables comped.
Right.
That was about 7 years ago. I was sitting in the lobby waiting for the elevators, and I saw some people walk into this pillar, what I thought was a pillar, and it's just staircase, and it goes up. You just go up to like the second floor, take the elevator down, and then just ride it back up.
Yeah. Because
if you take it down, it's empty, and then you just ride it up to where you go.
Is it a service elevator?
No, it's a regular elevator. It's really disheartening to people when you show up on the first floor and it's already full.
I just know that like by the time everybody gets out of the convention center and goes over to the west end, and you see the line out the door to just get on an elevator.
I'll show you on Thursday.
Okay.
And like I actually met Walden Wong doing that. He's like, "Did you know about this elevator?" I was like, "Yeah." Like some people take the stairs all the way up, but like that's craziness when you're on like the 14th floor.
Right.
But yeah, just walk up to the second floor, and then you take a left, and the regular elevators are there, and you just ride them down because it's always empty on the way down because it's just filling up and going up. You know.
What is do you know what is Walden working on lately? He seemed,
Star Wars stuff and some X-Men stuff.
Because he seems like one of those guys that, doesn't ever seem to have like a monthly book, but he's always doing something.
Yeah, he's always doing something. We tried to, I don't know, I can say this, but I can say this. It doesn't matter. I didn't get anything from it.
Hey, before you go into that story, I'm just going to zoom into your coloring because, let's see. Rod said we both have kids, maybe 7 or 8, right? Okay, I have one son in my entire life. I have one child, and he's 7. He turned 7 December 7th. And Drew, you have 2 kids, right?
I have a 16-year-old and a 8-year-old.
And then AG asked, are those just the regular double-sided Prismacolor markers you're using, Drew?
The brush tip.
The
ones with the brush tip.
I didn't know you were using the brush tips. I thought you were just using the bullet.
Those tips are horrible.
Now, when I had mine, I don't think they offered the brush tips on Prismacolors.
Yeah, no, I think it's been the past 4 or 5 years.
I was going to say, I had a set back in like 2010, 2011.
Yeah, it's not been that long. And they cost the same amount. But you get this nice, like, if you do this, you get a nice, like, fade.
Right. Yeah, a feathering thing. Yeah. It makes them a little more Copic-like.
Yeah. And they're $2.30 a piece. So
now, and you mentioned to me, they'll say like 12 plus, they drop down to $2 and stuff.
Yeah,
it makes them match, though,
like,
right?
If you go to Jerry's, the discount says buy 5 more and it'll drop down to $2.35. But that discount, what they're not telling you is the discount applies with whatever color. You don't have to get 6 of the same color.
Is that the same at Blick, or do you know?
I think it is. I've gotten them at Blick's when Jerry's is out of a color. I go to Blick's and get it.
Okay.
I do Jerry's because the warehouse for Jerry's is in North Carolina.
Oh, real close. What about that Cheap Joe's place? Is that kind of close to you?
What is that?
Cheap Joe's. They're always set up at Heroes Con.
I don't know. I don't know them.
And well, they're always like when you walk in, they're always set up right to the left. And they've saved my butt a couple of times on I've left something at home.
Yeah.
Like somebody wanted me to ink something with real ink, and I went over and got a bottle of ink because I didn't bring real ink.
That could be a disaster. I've had it be a disaster.
Well, that's why I kind of quit doing it.
I spilled ink all over my hotel room.
But everybody's kind of started doing it again, The closest I get now is bringing like the Pentel pocket brush or the one like Brian uses that you can snap the refill into it.
Yeah.
And then
smart. If they want something that requires a regular brush, then it's best to just get something like commission it and take it home,
Right. Yeah. But a lot of people, as you know, they don't, when they come to Heroes, that part of it is the experience of getting it there.
Yeah, that's true.
Some people will go ahead and do the take-home thing, but most people are like, I was hoping to get it here. And that'll stop them,
Always, you can't come on Friday. Like, you have to, if you want a guaranteed piece.
I know. Like, and as well as I do, you'll get those people that show up Sunday going like, hey, I'd like to get a commission.
Yeah, if it's head, I can do it. Anything else, it's probably not going to happen.
So I don't know if you forgot your story when I interrupted or where you were.
I forgot.
We were talking about Walden, and you said there was something that.
Yeah. He wanted to work with me. Like he was just really nice and was like, "Hey, we should work together." And I was like, "I'd love to, Walden, but like Carl's story, I don't get the jobs that I don't make the juice that you need to get." Like, so we were trying to talk to some editors at Marvel to possibly put us on together,
Right.
and it just never happened. Which is disappointing in a sense that, like, I would love to work with Walden. I think he's a great inker. But, like, if it's just not in the cards, it's not in the cards. I wish I could take a lower... I mean, I can pencil pages way faster than having to ink them,
Right.
I think I did a pencil sample for Venom once. And that, like, fully rendered pencils, like, 2 days for 3 pages. And that's even like having a whole day to just relax. It's still nothing. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the formula is, like what they're looking for. And it's not what I have, I guess.
Well, I don't know. I know Marvel and DC are really watching, just like every company. They're watching what they spend.
Yeah, and like the sad thing is every time I get an editor's ear, that really likes my stuff, he ends up leaving. Like I think Steve Wacker.
Yeah.
When he was doing Spider-Man, when he was the group editor for Spider-Man, before he did the animation stuff. My friend Cullen, because I was working with Cullen Bunn a lot, we had pitched a series, which I ended up doing like years later, but not with me. One of the characters he created for Venom was this female, like Venom kind of punk rock type character. I forget her name, but we had pitched something to do a series on her, and they said no. But Steve was like, "I really like Drew's work. Like, I'm going to contact him to see what we can do together." And then, like 2 days later, he quit the comics and went to the animation. So that never happened. See?
Yeah. No, I see. That's one thing. Is how long ago was that?
That was a while ago. Probably like 5 years ago.
Okay, but still relatively new.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. Maybe it wasn't even 5. I want to say 4. It wasn't that long ago. Long enough that I still remember the situation.
Yeah, I know. I get that. It's just, in the ancient days, my boy, as Gil Kane would say, my boy. No, it's just like, you pretty much, I mean, it's, the art community, and I think it's a great thing because it's, with the internet, it's worldwide now. I mean, we get to explore different artists and different influences and stuff like that, where before you'd have to wait for somebody to go to Europe and bring like, I remember Sienkiewicz and maybe Dennis Cowan and a couple other people having a couple, like just 1 or 2 Topi books. And, that was because they had went over to Europe, and they picked a book or 2 up,
They are the best art books, man.
I know. And it's like, I would know other people that were going to Europe, but I couldn't really say, could you pick me up some books? Because I know they're bringing books back for themselves. And, there is a luggage limitation.
Yeah, the weight limit.
Yeah. So I just got my Topi books I got them from Stuart Ing. maybe 10 years ago, whenever I just got like, give me one of everything you got, that because I traded him a lot of books, and
they're really nice books too.
Oh yeah. I said, I want credit, and I said, I want the Topi books, and he had the individuals of that the cowboy guy thing. He said, now if you want, there's a collection coming out in about 5 or 6 weeks. He said, if you want to wait for that, he said it'll actually save you a little bit of your store credit. And so I said, yeah, I'll definitely do that, because I'd rather, keep.
And you just want the collection.
Yeah. Putting on the little bit of glitz.
I'm gonna get the smaller one. Some small.
They're talking about Blick stores actually being near them, and Rod says he had one 20 minutes away. But what Ron found out, in Tampa, there's a Blick store, and he was there, but Blick does not give you the same discount.
No, they don't have the online discount.
I don't understand that.
Jerry's doesn't either. I have a Jerry's like 20 minutes from me.
What I mean,
yeah,
I don't.
$4 a piece.
I don't get it. It's like, why should I come to your store and buy when I can order and get the discount and free shipping to my door? Yeah, I mean, okay, if you need something immediately, I get it. They kind of got you. It's like my local Michael's. It's the closest thing I got.
Racket those places are.
Yeah, but I got the app. I can get a 40% coupon anytime.
Yeah.
So if I need one thing, if I run out of like white ink or something, or gouache, and I need a bottle, I can go out there and get it that day for 40% off.
That's true.
And then that, then on the receipt, it gives me another 40% off, but I think I have to wait to the next day to use it.
Yeah.
But I'm not making the trip back out there. It's not that far away, but the road that I have to go, it's the road that the Speedway's on, so it's kind of heavily trafficked. But yeah, I never understood why these businesses, their online prices don't match their store. It makes no sense to me. I mean, I would go there. I would go to a Blick store and just look at stuff and write the number down and then go order it online. I'd look at it and hold it and go like, okay, this looks good.
I order all my stuff from. I'm a loyal Jerry's consumer, but man, I order it all online. Plus,
I have to.
People who work there are kind of pretentious, and it bugs me.
Now, Drew, if it's easy for you to do, and it may not be, but AG had asked, do you use like a 24 pack of the Prismacolor markers? Do you remember that photo you sent me?
Oh, you want to see what I actually use?
Yeah, I want you to show AG your marker stash.
Here, wait 1 sec.
If you can, if it's too big of trouble.
Well, it's just, let me put some of the markers back in. Because it only take me a minute.
Okay.
As you can hear them knocking into their places. Now you also have to remember, some of these I have like 6 different crimson reds, like as in I have 6 of the same marker because.
Yeah, Rod, Jerry's Artorama. That's the one you're talking about.
So when you see all of these, they're not all separate.
Rod's saying that if you're signed up with, I guess, Blick, they will match the online price, but they include the shipping when they ring it up.
Oh, yeah. See, you can spend $30 at Jerry's and the shipping is free.
No. He means at the store.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I guess if you're signed up with them, if you have an account or, even the online account, they will match the price, but they add tax and the shipping, whatever it would be. But now, wait a minute.
buy them online though. If you spend 30, the shipping's free anyway.
Well, that's what I was wondering if that's, because I always make sure I order enough to cover free shipping.
Yeah, like what? Why not? Okay, these are just French grays. Those are all, and that's not all of them. I have another container that's just full of grays. It's like a tackle box, and when the one dies, like a 30%, I just throw it away and replace it. So Amazon had this deal on the French grays. Oh, look at that! It's done, by the way.
Nice.
They had a deal on the French grays where you could buy a set of 12 for $15. So I bought like 5 or 6 sets. This is the small container. That's the small one. What I'll do is I'll put the paint markers, like if I'm traveling in here.
Oh, you know what? I was gonna say I do hate the racks that Prismacolor sends with it's so flimsy.
Yeah.
I see you have you've bought your own holder, which is the best thing because
it's the big one.
Yeah.
Like that. See? That's the big one. And then like I have so many that I have to stick them in the...
That's easily over 100 markers, isn't it?
I think it's 200. It's like 60, 64, 128.
Yeah.
The other, so I have about almost 200 just separate colors. But like I said, look, this one and this one are the same. These two are, I have 4 of just this one.
Now, let me ask you this, because this is a question that, maybe people don't know to ask or something. Do you, which way do you store it? Do you store them brush tip down?
No, it doesn't matter.
Are you sure about that? Because sometimes if you don't use one for a while, it gets a little dry.
John, I've had these markers for like 7, 8 years. I've never had a problem.
You don't leave them out in the hot car very long, do you?
I don't leave them in the car at all.
Okay.
Alcohol will evaporate.
Right.
But no, I leave them in my house. It doesn't matter up or down. Because like I said, I've done this. Like people have told me that, and I'm going to call BS on it. Because I've never had that problem. And if anybody's going to have that problem, it's going to be me. Because like I said, I've been using these markers for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And like sometimes I just store them in a drawer. It doesn't matter. I had like this one right here is a chisel tip one. This one right, or no, not this one. One of these is a chisel tip one I never use, and every once in a while I'll just use it just to see, because people tell me if you just let them sit forever, they'll just dry out.
Right.
I have a chisel tip one in here that's over 6 years old. It's still like new.
AG commented a little more than a starter set, huh?
Yeah.
But
to be honest, if you get the 24 set, that's good. Like as long as you have
on it, right?
Caucasian skin has a lot of colors in it.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, you wouldn't think, but it does. It has like the reds, or the pinks, the purples, the
gray,
yellows, the peaches, like
gray.
Gray, yeah. Caucasian skin has a lot of colors to make it look real. Like I'm not saying because I'm Asian and brown because I'm part Syrian. We also have the same colors. They're just more subtle because our skin is darker. So like if you're doing a Caucasian skin, like the biggest thing is like you can't just use one color. That's when you start getting into like your blues and the purples and the pinks and the yellows you get the what they call temperature zones of the face.
Right.
Your yellow to your pink to your blue.
Yep.
And you can really see them on Caucasian people, or you see them on everybody. But the darker your skin is, it's harder to see because of your pigment of your skin, the melanin. So if you're doing a lot of Caucasian people, like a lot of superheroes are, especially the old school ones, then like in order to make them look, I guess, fleshed out, you're gonna have to get more than just that 24 set.
But I mean,
practice, play around, get the 12 or 24 set.
Like even a gray set, right?
Yes, I like the French gray because I like to go warm. But if you buy a cool gray and a French gray, and think of the cool grays as your blues and your French grays as your reds, for some reason, if you just use those two, your eye changes them to kind of those colors. So when you're done, it'll look like the drawing is blue and red, but it's not at all. It's a pretty cool effect. So if you want to see something really cool, do that. Mix your blue and your warm and your cool grays together, but not as in like color on top of each other, but just do cool areas with the cool and the warm areas with the warm. And then when you step away from it and come back, the cool areas will look blue and then the warm areas will look red. And you're like, how is this coming out blue and red like so strong? It's just your eye will process it like that. Your brain does.
I can't figure out what Rod is talking about. All retail transactions are processed through a web match rebate for preferred customers. And if adding shipping and handling charges, a product could have been bought for less online, they provide a rebate for the difference between the two prices. That's what it says. Oh, okay. That's what it says online at Blick.
Yeah, I go to Jarrod's and they're like, no, we can't do anything for you. It's just like that. And I'm like, okay.
Go order it online.
Yeah, that's what they say. Just go order online then. And I'm like, thank you, you dickface.
Right?
You ever meet people like that who can't just say no?
Yeah.
Like you're like, hey, what about this? And they're like, well, blah, 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 blah. They just browbeat you with all these like excuses when all they have to do is be like, no. Like, no. And then I'm good with that. Yeah, Jerry said
right. Drew, I'm going to wrap this up.
Okay.
Tomorrow's early release for my son.
Yeah, well, just let me. On Thursdays, I am at my local comic shop drawing, just like I'm doing now.
Right.
Because I hang out with my friend Rich, who owns the shop.
He must love that.
What?
He must love that.
Yeah, we just hang and talk, and then some people know I come in on Thursday, so people show up with their kids or like local artists will show up and just ask questions and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's cool, and yeah, I don't know. It's a nice way to connect with the local people, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank
you, Rod. Thanks for the support of the channel and stopping in.
Ooh. I'm gonna actually add a highlight to this, but yeah, just let me know. I'm kind of having fun with this whole thing.
Well, good.
I don't know if you are.
Oh yeah, if I wasn't having fun, I wouldn't be doing it.
Like, suck it, Drew. You ain't actually, you don't see my face.
No, that day I talked to you, I thought we had a good conversation, and I've always liked your work. And you know, when you mentioned all that, I was like, I gotta talk to Drew.
Oh, it's because I have zero filter.
No, it just I was just like, that's amazing.
Oh, the how much stuff I do.
Yeah, and the quality of it.
It's like, you know, you're not the first to be like, I just don't believe it. Well, you didn't say that, but I've had people go, man, I don't believe you. Like,
hey, good afternoon, coffee breath.
I don't believe you do all that stuff in just a day. But the sad thing is, when I post stuff, it's when I did it. Like, it's not like I'm holding stuff back. That's
Oh,
weird.
I know. You take a picture right when you stand up, and bang.
Yeah, and then you move on with your day.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just like, I don't believe you, man. You put out too much stuff to do that, and I'm like, wow, okay, crazy. But you were more just like, hey, it's just unbelievable. Like, how do you do that? Which is a different take on it. You know, it's not like I don't believe you. It's just like I just want to know, like what you're doing. And that was really nice, actually, because I didn't have to get defensive. Like sometimes you get defensive, like you got to prove yourself.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, all right, everybody. I guess we'll call it a day.
Yeah.
Hey, be sure to check out Jarrod, the Yard Sale Artist YouTube channel. I think he put up a little teaser video, him and his son,
Nice.
which I meant to kind of tell him that I don't know if his son's over 13, but
oh yeah, that's a violation, huh?
That's why I had to tell my son he can't be on any of my videos anymore, because if you mark yourself like not kid friendly, which is kind of rude, but that's the way. I mean, hey, it's their sandlot, right? So
exactly.
But, yeah, I'm not sure if Jordan is over. Jordan might be 13, so he might be in that safe age.
Yeah.
I would like to think if your father is there in the video with you and you're, that there shouldn't be any problems.
I know when I was a kid, you could go see R-rated movies. All your dad had to do was give him a thumbs up from the car.
Yeah, exactly. or walk up and buy your ticket.
I saw Streets of Fire in the theater by myself, and all my dad did was give the ticket guy a thumbs up, and I paid for it.
Boy, Mike Zeck and I saw Streets of Fire when we were out at the San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Yep, Michael Pere. Yeah. And that was the first time I saw Michael Pere, and that was the first time I saw Willem Dafoe.
Same here. Oh, I'm trying to take that picture to get in the way. Yeah, same here. Both actors. First time for both. I thought Willem Dafoe was
I thought he'd be a great Joker. That's all I could get.
I almost liked the Joker in that movie.
He was, and I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, I watch it on occasion still.
Yep.
That and Big Trouble in Little China, I used to watch every week.
Yeah, I love Kurt Russell in that movie.
Here, his son might be playing him in the next one.
What's that?
Escape from New York. My fault.
Yeah. His role in Big Trouble in Little China, that may be my favorite thing he's ever done.
Yeah, and I was explaining to a guy how in that whole movie he never wins a fight.
Right.
Like that's like the charm of him. He never wins, but he's like still the center of it all.
Old Jack Burton just looks them in the eye and says,
"The check's in the mail.
Check's in the mail, buddy." And you know what, Zablo? Because we were on a road trip, probably to some convention one time, and he started just laughing. I said, "What's wrong?" He's like, "You sound like Jack Burton. You're over there talking about." And John Beatty looked him in the eye with his, looked whoever, in the eyes with his steely blues and said, this, that, and the other thing. And he's like, you're doing a Jack Burton and you don't even realize it.
Yeah. And you know what? That's just fine.
Yeah. No, I took it as a high compliment.
Yeah, man. Jack Burton's one of the best.
And I love that shirt that he had on there. And I don't know if they ever sold that shirt. Like
the Kabuki guy. Like
yeah.
The samurai.
Yeah.
The rising sun in the back.
Yeah. Did they ever sell that anywhere?
I've seen people with it, but I don't know if they're just reproductions.
I'm sure they are. If they would have made that shirt, they probably would have sold a ton.
Especially back then. I think even now, to be honest.
I think now maybe more because it's such a cult thing.
Yeah, it's such a good movie, though.
I know it. I know it. It's.
I'm gonna watch it when we get off.
Is it? Do you know if it's on Netflix or anything?
It was on Netflix for a while. But I have it on DVD. I need to get the new Blu-ray.
I just might go buy it on YouTube for $2.99 or $3.99.
It's probably pretty cheap.
Yeah, to rent it's probably 99 cents. To buy it is probably like a couple dollars more.
Here, it is not on Netflix.
See, I missed John Wick.
For a while.
I know. I missed John Wick 1 on Netflix. People kept telling me it was on there. When I finally had a break and went to watch it, I couldn't find it. And then I Googled it, and it went off like 2 weeks before I could get to it.
You ever watch Kung Fu Hustle?
Kung Fu Hustle? No, I never have.
It's wonderful. It's if you like old Chopsaki movies, it's great. It's actually on Netflix because when I pulled up Big Trouble, that was the first movie that popped up. I didn't randomly say that. Like it actually, when I searched, Big Trouble on Netflix, it was the first movie, and then it was Indiana Jones.
Right. Yeah. See, I need to use my Netflix more. It just sits here and does nothing.
Yeah, it's only $4, and if you have Hulu, it's on there for free.
But on YouTube, you can buy it for $4.
Or maybe a rental. Buy or rent. Look, I'm looking for it for you. I think the buy prices. It doesn't say. Let me check. Oh, it's $15 to buy, $4 to rent. But if you have Hulu, it's free. I have it on DVD a couple times.
See, I don't have a DVD player, and I don't want to buy one because I don't want to start buying DVDs.
I only have only DVD player. I have a Blu-ray player. I have a few of those with the Xboxes and stuff for the kids. But in my laptop, it's a DVD player, and I watch DVDs in that.
Well, see, I did get my son for Christmas the high-end Xbox, and I know it does play DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff.
Yeah.
So I could theoretically purchase it, but then I got to go in his room and
get it digitally. I would.
That's what I do, because then I can always, wherever I have
Wi-Fi.
Well, even because on YouTube you can't download it onto your hard drive.
Yeah, when I go travel, since everything I have, a lot of the stuff I have is digital.
Right.
I just sign into either Vudu or Netflix or whatever.
Download.
And then I have all my movies.
Yeah.
And then the kids can watch movies, and I don't have to bring anything with me, which is amazing.
Yep.
But yeah, Big Trouble is happening today.
I might have to do that myself, but I got a few other things. I'm like a few YouTube things I'm in the middle of watching that I need to finish. I usually keep those on while I'm working, if I'm not streaming.
Yeah, that's smart. I do too, because sometimes it's nonsensical, just stuff. And sometimes you can absorb stuff like with osmosis. Right. But yeah. See, Instagram. Do you want me to tag I need to tag you in these.
You should. Don't you ever trim those down a bit?
Nah. I don't. I used to do them crooked so people couldn't steal them as easily.
Yeah, well, because it's a square, I used to always try to, get a warped perspective, like lay it down and put a pin by it or something. And
I do I give a little bit of the actual table so people know it's like a real drawing.
Right.
Because sometimes people think it's digital, and then I don't like having to convince people.
Yeah, if you want to tag me, that's great. I think I gained a few followers on Instagram because you tagged me on the Captain America, or you reposted. Well, yeah, whatever you did on Instagram.
Did it help?
Yeah, I think I gained about 5 people.
Yeah, I did that for. Remember, do you know John Lucas? He's a comic artist.
Jolton.
Yep.
Jolton Johnny Lucas or whatever.
Yeah, Jolton Johnny Lucas. I met him in Memphis, and he did this really awesome Batman, and I reposted it. Or no, maybe it was Daniel Hillard. Well, I reposted somebody's thing, and they actually messaged me and said, "Man, I never get traffic on Instagram, and for some reason, he's like, after you posted that, I got like 1,000 hits on this thing." I'm like, "That's awesome, dude. Good for you."
Well, that's why I said when I posted that Captain America, mine was like, I think it might be around 150 now, but yours was like 600 or something.
And that's just a numbers game, I think, though. Like if you had as many, you would have the same amount, I think, or more.
Yeah, but okay, let me ask you this: how many people were you getting a day to? I mean, would you wake up and it'd be like you got 500 or 600 new followers?
No. Well, at the beginning, actually, you know what? You want to hear that? Okay, when I first started, I wasn't getting anything. And I read this thing about, I told you, like, just post every day, 1 to 2 times a day. Make sure whatever you post is equally as good as everything else you post or better.
Right.
That's the goal every time. And no personal stuff, zero. Just whatever you're trying to promote, your art, or your musician, whatever, twice a day. And I did that for probably a few months, and then it just steadily increased. And then I didn't, but you have to do it every day, because I didn't do it for like 4 months, and I lost like 2,000 people.
Wow.
Well, I lose people every day. I probably lose about 100 to 160 a day, but I gain like 400.
Do you think some of those are bots?
Yes. Or some of them are just kids who just lost interest.
Right.
But I do think some of them are bots, yes. But then I had this huge jump because last December, I had like 12,500 followers on Instagram. And the only reason I know that is because I was a goal for me. For some reason, 12.5 just sounded like it's halfway to 25.
Right.
I don't know. In my head, it just seemed like a big deal.
Yeah.
And I told my friends, I was like, look, I want to hit 12,500 by the end of the year. And this was like in September. And I hit it in like October. And then I was just like, I don't really care after that. Like, I just don't care. I hit what I wanted to. And then all of a sudden, it just started shooting up after.
But that's what I'm asking you. You got to like open up Instagram, and then suddenly you have like 500, 600, 700 followers in like a day or hours.
It's hard to keep track because it only gives you 100 notifications.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like if you look here, I'm gonna show you. I can post this later. But like if you look right here, like I'll do this. And right now it says 3. So 2 likes, 1 extra person, right? Once it hits 100, it'll be like 89 likes, 11 followers.
Okay.
And you don't see it. So in order for me to actually know, I have to go. I have a business account.
Right. Yeah, I did too.
So it's the only way to see if you go into your insights, into my audience. Like I gained 425 last week.
Okay.
And I lost 136. So technically I actually gained almost 600, but I lost 136 of them. And most of mine is 93% men, 7% women, like ages 18 to 44. I'm killing it.
See, I'm in the, what was the second age group?
The 25 to something.
To 44?
25 to 34.
Okay.
That's my biggest too. 35 to 44 is the next. And then after that, it just kind of drops off. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't really keep track of a lot of that. Only thing I keep track of is if people comment. I don't really care about the numbers, like as in I don't have a giant ego that I have to have followers, but I just, since it only gives you 100 notifications, that includes comments. I actually have to go look through my pictures to see if anybody commented because and I like to reply to them because I feel like if people take time, unless they just put fire,
Yeah.
if they actually comment, I try and like it or say something because I feel like if they did it, I should be courteous and do the
same. I try to do that too. I try to give everybody a little reply, or if it's a lot, I'll at least give the little heart, like,
Yeah.
like you like the comment or something.
Yeah, I think that's a courtesy, right?
I agree. I think it is.
I did it on Twitter, and I said thank you to this person, and I was like, this guy said, "Oh man, I didn't think you were going to reply." I was like, "Of course I will." It's like, isn't that like the Twitter courtesy? And then this one person's like, "This guy thinks that there's courtesies on Twitter," and then he laughed at me.
Oh well,
I guess not. I'm the jerk who thinks being a nice guy is a plus, I guess.
And I see GLHG comes in right as we're closing up shop. So, hello to say goodbye. And Drew, I'm gonna run. I'm sure you got things to do. Thanks for joining again.
No.
I might get that wild hair tomorrow and say, hey. And if you can make it, if you want to make it, fine. If you can't, that's cool too.
Yeah, send me whatever. I'll be there.
It's kind of fun to work together and answer some questions.
I got a lot done. I got a page done and a commission date.
Yeah,
drawn and one colored.
That's right. So, you're on fire.
I am, man. I should go eat lunch.
Well, that's what I'm thinking right about now. Is let's see, my son gets out at 3, so by the time I eat lunch, and
it'll be perfect timing.
Yeah, because you know how it is. Those school parking lots. If you don't get there and school is out, it's like defensive driving 101. You got to watch out for kids and parents trying to edge you out, and just all sorts of craziness going on.
I saw 2 mothers get in a fight because one looked at one wrong.
So is that why you also go like a half hour early too, and just sit and wait so that you?
Well, my son likes me to see me first, so.
Yeah, well, my son does too. He likes me to be there, but I just like for myself that I'm not in that mad rush of,
Oh yeah, I'm usually the first person who gets their kid too. Like, because the drop-off people know me.
Right.
They'll just send them out.
Now, sometimes they don't open the gates to the school until like a half hour before school lets out.
Oh yeah, we don't have gates. But we do. We have this like snake, like road.
Okay. Yep.
And like there's no way to get around people. So if you get there late, you're just in the back of the line.
Right.
Like there's no like skipping ahead unless you go the wrong way down the road, which people do sometimes.
Well, what I always feel bad for is those people that don't know it's a school zone at that time. And they get frustrated, so there's another layer of anger added into the already boiling tempers. When, people would just relax. You're going to get your kid. Just calm down.
Yeah, it's no big deal. You're good. No one's going to leave your kid. If anything, they'll call you because you didn't pick up your kid.
Yeah, they don't want your kid.
That's true. They don't.
All right, everybody. Well, hope you had a good time, and hope you all are learning stuff. We're trying to teach as well as entertain. So keep the questions coming. Even if you want to leave a question in the comments below, feel free to. If it's something for me, I'll answer it. If it's something for Drew, yeah, he'll ignore it, and I'll answer it for him.
Yes, that's probably the best.
But you can follow him at Drew_Moss on Twitter. And what are your other
Dreward Moss on Instagram, DREWERD Moss. And Facebook doesn't matter. You can friend me, but I'm almost at my friend limit, so I don't know what to do. I'm not that guy who's like, oh, here comes the purge.
Oh, you know what? I just realized tomorrow I have Wednesday is my day for a. It's like what they call it's kind of like a mastermind or a pro group meeting.
Yeah.
So I do that on Wednesday, and it's usually 10 or 11 o'clock a.m. So I won't be streaming.
Just message me whenever you want.
Okay, Drew.
If anything, I can do it from the comic shop too. They probably get a kick out of that.
That would actually be kind of fun.
They give you a tour of the shop too.
Does he have a camera or anything there, or you'd have to bring
I can bring one. Like he sets out a table for me and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's the best.
Well, okay. So, and let's see. We've had 2 new subscribers today.
Yay.
So I'm getting closer to that 400 where I'll have to do another free sketch cover or drawing to give away. Maybe that can happen by the end of the week. All right, so we're out of here. Everybody, have a great day.
Goodbye.
Take care, Drew.
Take care.